Wednesday, and I'm wowing because Scotty came back to Twitch last night. Yeah, Scotty came back on Twitch for 2 hours and hung out, and he was really happy to see us. He is just so effusively happy right now, guys. Like, seriously, he's at, like, the happiest stage I've ever seen him, and all the times I've seen Scott on Twitch over the years since his rookie year and just being around him and his energy, the dude is in a really good place. he's just he's just really more confident, happy-go-lucky, understands what's going on, and he's really, really excited about his life and about what's to come in the future because he believes in his future. And it's amazing to see, man. Scotty, you're awesome, man. Seriously, I cherish the time to get to hang out with you on Twitch when you're just letting your guard down, you're just being yourself. Because when we see Scotty as his true self around his fans on Twitch, you see the real one that he is. And he is a real one. He's such a loyal, real one for his friends. He's such a real, loyal one for FSU. He's such a real one, loyal one for his state of Florida. But he's also a real one for the Toronto Raptors in the city of Toronto in Canada. And man, he had such a good time on this trip he just went on. He told us all about it. He was talking about all kinds of stuff. In fact, we were watching the playoff games with him last night. We watched a good chunk of the Pacers Bucks game with Scotty. And he watched the plays, and he was talking about watching Siakam and Trent go at each other and how that was interesting and fun to watch, with an inside view of those guys being teammates with both of them, in the last couple years. It was really fun to watch the playoff game with him. He was talking a lot about the physicality in the playoffs and how, the fans can whine and cry that there's no defense in the league, and then the league tries to fix it, and then y'all are whining and crying about people getting hurt or there being dirty shots and stuff. He said, y'all shut up. That's basically what Scott said. He said, y'all asked for it, you get it. And calm down. It's better this way. In fact, he's saying he's just like everybody else. He's like, man, the playoffs have been so good this year. He's a basketball junkie. He's watching it all. We watched the highlights from the Golden State Houston game from the night before with Scotty, and he put him up, and we're watching Fred kill it, bombing crazy clutch threes in that last game that they had in that series. And Scotty's going on about Steph Curry and his greatness and saying he's just 6'3". He could just elevate and shoot no matter what. He doesn't care what the defender's doing. He just goes up and shoots and it goes in. Yeah, it was fun, man. It's really cool to hear Scotty break down basketball, and some people are like, man, you're like a fan streamer. What are you doing? You're watching, you're live streaming during an NBA playoff game and acting like a fan streamer. Yeah, he was. That's not a lie. He was in there. He wasn't playing no 2K last night. He just wanted to hang out and talk to the fans. He wanted to talk to us. He wanted to talk to Scottie Barnes' Twitch family. And, well, he got some of us back there, guerrilla marketing in there. Of course, why not Lloyd hanging around, being his admin, putting all the ads on everybody. Lloyd putting those ads on everybody. And Scotty's like, don't blame me. Blame Lloyd. Lloyd is in control of the ads. If he hits the ad button, y'all are watching it. It's because of Lloyd, y'all. Scotty, once again, this is always something that happens when Scotty comes around for his biannual Twitch check-in. How tall are you, Scotty? How tall are you? He said straight up, I'm 6'9". I don't know why they list me at 6'7". I am 6'9", legitimately, y'all. And I'm not lying this time. I'm not gonna say I'm 6'11", like last time. He's saying for sure I'm 6'9", y'all. Seriously, that is my legit height, straight from the horse's mouth. Last night, he is 6'9". No lies, no BS, no anything like that. And he brought it up. He's like, I don't know why they list me at 6'7". I am 6'9". Very emphatically, Scotty said that last night. Scotty's got such confidence. He's crazy, man. He was having fun, man. He was having fun. We were just talking about all kinds of stuff. He really enjoyed Thailand and Philippines. He said that in the Philippines, the people over there all know who he is. Like he said, he can walk around in the United States. Nobody recognizes him. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's weird. Like, if you're an NBA fan, you might recognize him or see him. But for the most part, everyday average person ain't going to recognize Scottie Barnes on the street. Up in Canada, maybe a little bit more, especially in Toronto, that people may recognize him on the street. But even here, they do not recognize him as much as they recognize him on the streets of the Philippines. That he said everybody Everybody, people of all ages, people like men, women, they all know who Scottie is over there because they're basketball crazy in Philippines. He said they were such good fans. He said that they came up to him and they said, Scottie Barnes, Scottie Barnes. He's like, holy crap, how do all these people know me? Is what Scottie was going through last weekend when he was running around in Philippines, in Manila. It's like, how do all these people know me? It's like, dude, the Filipino people love basketball and they know you because they watch you and they keep up. And in some ways, they're global and you're global because you're on the Canada's team. And in some ways, you are more prominent because, these people may have relatives in Toronto and they may have a proclivity to root for you because they have Filipino relatives that live in Toronto. And they're like, I'm a Raptors fan because my cousin lives in Toronto and he goes to Raptors games. And I love them from afar. And so this guy's going to walk around the streets of Manila. Fans are going to come up to him and say, Scottie Barnes, Scottie Barnes, Scottie Barnes, and crowd him more than he would get in North America. That's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. Yeah, Scottie was in awe of that. He really enjoyed that too. He's like, man, the fans in Philippines are awesome, is what he said. He said the Filipino fans, they really know basketball, is what he said. He said they really, really know basketball over there. He had a fantastic trip. Those guys had such a good time. They really, really did. And Scottie's talking about it, man. It's just a trip with my buddies, man. It's just I want to go on a trip and travel with my dudes and get some sun at the beaches and see the sights and enjoy nice dinners at restaurants and stay in nice places and just be with my dudes and hang out and, be worldly, be global, be international. And that's what he was doing, man. Scottie's so awesome, man. Yeah, Scott said a lot of things yesterday. Somebody asked him about Darko. Somebody said, what do you think about Darko as your coach, Scottie? I'm trying to pull that thread. You know what Scottie said, man? He's like, Darko's the best, man. That's my guy. I love that guy, man. He's my dude, is what Scottie said. He said, I'm so proud of Darko, and I believe in the plan that he's given us and what we're doing. That's what he said, straight up to the stream crowd yesterday. Straight up vouched for Darko, 100%. I kind of went on about it for a couple minutes about how great Darko is and how much he really does believe in him. I'm going to tell you this right now. A lot of NBA stars won't gush effusively about their coach like that. A lot of the NBA stars don't totally trust their coach. A lot of NBA stars are kind of like people that are kind of like, yeah, he's good. He's just my coach, though. I'm in my off season. Yeah, he's my coach. That's great. Yeah. But it's not like this. This is something different. This is very much family kind of standing up and also saying like, this dude is great. I love him. He's so fun. And I'm really in this car with him on this ride and this journey that we're going on as the Toronto Raptors. And I love that, man. And in some ways, I know the person that asked him about Darko was trying to get him to say something negative about him. Well, completely backfired, you little piece of shit. Of course, he's not going to throw Darko under the bus on his Twitch stream because you came in there and said, what do you think about Darko as a coach? Well, you got your answer, and it's a very, very positive one, a one of complete and utter 100% belief that his coach knows what he's doing. He's doing good things. And then people in the chat started echoing, yeah, Darko's a good coach, man. He's developing people. Look what he did with this team this year. And it's like, you're damn right. The results are there for you to see if you want to see them. Yeah, he's awesome, man. Scott, you are so cool, man. And we, it's like the bat single. And I appreciate people like Tristan Trey putting up the bat signal yesterday and saying, hey, whoop, whoop, Scottie's back, Lex. Get on the Twitch. You got to watch him. I came on as just the 20 minutes into the stream and watched most of the 2-hour stream with him. And, man, it's just fun. I know it's a little tough to drop everything in your life just to watch a guy hang out on a Twitch stream and talk, not really doing anything. He wasn't talking about playing 2K. He didn't really want to play 2K with us. He just kind of wanted to hang out and chat. He was recruiting players for his 2K team, though. If you have a up-to-date current 2K account where you're kicking ass and you have a lock or you have a very good center, or if you have certain positions this guy's looking for, he will recruit you right now. He is openly recruiting 2K players right now. He was doing it on his stream last night. It's funny. He was vetting them. He's kind of like, okay, let me look and see what you got. Lethal Shots. This guy named Lethal Shots joined, and he was bragging that he was so good. And then Scottie added him as a friend on 2K, and he looked at his status, and he said, you haven't played in 7 months, Lethal Shots. How the hell are you good if you haven't played 2K for 7 months? He's like calling him out. He's like, bro, you're lying to me. You're saying you're up to date on your 2K player build and what you're doing, but bro, you haven't logged in 7 months. That's bullshit. He called him out right like that. And then he was like looking at everybody else coming in. And one kid wanted to join his 2K team, and his name was like Eli the Ninja Kid or some shit like that. This guy's like, bro, Eli the Ninja Kid. I'm sorry, man. Just by your name, I can't add you. He's like, just because your name's so damn childish, I cannot add you to my 2K team, bro. Eli the Ninja Kid 29. That shit was funny. He was like trying to go through different people trying out for his team, and a lot of people were not getting in there correctly. No, they weren't. You look at their profiles, like, bro, you lied to me, man. You told me you were a lock. You ain't shit on here. I'm looking at your build right now on the game, and I'm like, bro, you are lying to me, man. You're not exactly what you said you were 2 minutes ago when you tried to get on my team. He's so awesome, man. Scott is so awesome, man. Of course, he's in Toronto. He's at his game room, which is like we see more of an angle of it from the side, and we see like all kinds of more art and clothing and more gaming chairs and different all kinds of stuff going on in that room. All kinds of stuff going on in that room. Scotty, you were awesome, man. Twitch family loves you, man. Scottie Barnes, Twitch family 2022 forever. And we love you, man. We love you so much. And honestly, it seems like he might show up a bit more this summer again, because I think he's in a good mental space. Maybe he's got more free time all of a sudden. Obviously, he can't do it during the season. He's not going to be jumping on Twitch very much during the season, but come back from vacation from after the season. He's feeling good. The boys are back in town, and boom, he's like, hey, I got to say hi to my Twitch family. And he did. He came in and did that. He's talking about the Leafs last night. Yeah. Scotty's interesting when he talks about hockey. He's very, very interesting. We said this. This is what Scotty asked last night. At one point, he said, did the Leafs ever win a championship? He asked that last night. Seriously. He asked that. I love that. Somebody probably clipped that out at some point. Scottie Barnes asking, hey, did the Leafs ever win a championship? And we had to break it to him. Yeah, they've won like a lot of championships, but it was all before 1967. They won like 13 Stanley Cups or something like that. But the last one they won was in 67. Scotty heard that. He was like, whoa. He's like, whoa, no wonder. Something weird here, man. He's like, man, I hope Toronto wins then. Kind of like how he's looking at it now. Yeah, they were asking him if he's a Florida Panthers fan, of course, because of his Miami connections. And they're like, no, I'm not a Florida not really more of a Florida Panthers fan. He's not really a hockey fan. Let's just put it that way, guys. He went to Leafs playoff game last season, and he really enjoyed it. He liked the atmosphere. But he said, this is exactly what Scotty said. I have a hard time watching hockey because they only score like 1 or 2 goals for the whole entire hour of play. He really doesn't like the lack of scoring. He's like, why are we going to sit here and watch these guys just skate around? Is kind of his attitude. I'm with him. I'm with him on that. I mean, hockey is great, and it's Canadian pastime, and it's important. And I have a family that really loves hockey. They play hockey. I have female cousins that are goalies in hockey out in Manitoba. You know, I've got hockey ties. But like him, I'm a Florida boy. I grew up in Florida. I didn't ice skate. I didn't learn how to play hockey. And I don't have a direct connection or affinity for hockey myself, just like Scott. The fans were like, watch the Leafs game, Scotty. Watch the Leafs game. We want to watch you watch the Leafs game. He's like, why? Why? I'm not going to watch it. It's like, it's boring to me. That's what he's basically saying last night. So instead, he's watching NBA playoffs. And he's watching Milwaukee and Pacers, and he's really into it, man. He's like awing at Pascal, saying Pascal's so good. He's like, oh, Gary, good Gary. Gary messed up last night, apparently. He messed up at the end and lost the turnover, but he actually was the reason why Milwaukee was in it to that point. But now Milwaukee's eliminated for the year. Giannis Antetokounmpo is done for the season. And it's another failure. And well, we're gonna have to see what Giannis says after all this and stuff like that. But not without Gary Trent trying his damnedest to help them. You can't blame Gary Trent. You can for that last turnover, sure. But the better team won, and that's the Pacers. And it's fun to watch the playoffs with Scotty. Scotty's like watching the game. He said, "That's not a foul." He's like, "That's not a foul." He said, "Man, that guy just traveled." You know, he's calling out shit from his perspective. Watching the Bucks Pacers game last night with us on his Twitch stream live. It was pretty fun, man. It's very, very fun. I hope he does it more. He says he's watching these playoffs pretty intensely. Like, he's really enjoying the way they are. Like, he said, this is what Scotty said specifically, and this is really gives you a intel into his psychology and the way he looks at the NBA and the way he plays in the NBA. He said, you got to love the intensity of the playoffs and the way guys are going at each other, the way guys are talking trash and getting physical and pushing each other around and getting in each other's faces. That's competition. That's what you want to see. It makes you hyped up and you love it. This guy, he ain't like, let's make this a soft league where people are being pussyfooting around and not hitting each other, not playing with any kind of physicality. Scott wants that. Scott wants that. I mean, and that makes sense. A man like him, built like him, he has an advantage in a league like that. So he wants the physicalness. He wants that kind of smoke for his NBA game. Because he's reveling in it, watching it in the playoffs. I said, Scott, listen, watch this. Watch these teams play. Milwaukee and Indiana. Watch these teams play New York and Detroit. And understand the physicalness of Eastern Conference playoff basketball. And take notes, because you're going to be in there soon, Scotty. And you and the rest of the Raptors are going to be able to have to come in there with the same kind of physicalness and mentality of toughness that you are seeing in the way these Eastern Conference teams are playing in the playoffs right now. You are going to have to match that and go beyond if you're going to want to beat them when you get your chance to get in the playoffs next year, because I know it's coming this year coming. So, Scotty, take note of what's going down with the Pistons and the Knicks, the Celtics and the Magic, the Pacers and the Bucks, and realize that when you enter the chat in the fray next year, you will be stepping into that arena, a gauntlet of a fight that you will have to take to the Eastern Conference teams as a representative of the Toronto Raptors in the playoffs. Do not shy away from it. Come at it head on and come at it with force alongside RJ Barrett, Brandon Ingram, Emmanuel Quickley, and Jakob Poeltl. That's right. Go in there with your band of brothers and mess it up. You want that physicality, Scott? You love the NBA game that you're seeing in the playoffs right now? Well, you get yourself in the fray next year, my man. And I have such good faith and trust that you will come correctly and you will not shy away from that style of play, that it will not be such an abrupt, wow, this is totally different, the regular season, the playoffs, because you saw this in your rookie year when you played against Philadelphia in the first round of the playoffs, Joel Embiid and them. You saw how physical it was when Joel stepped on your leg. You saw how physical it was, how Precious had to hold down Joel. Yeah, you saw. We were talking about Precious a little bit for a second. Scotty noting that Precious is not in the rotation for the Knicks right now. He's like, oh, so I noticed Precious. Is Precious even playing? Is what he said. He's, of course, glowing about OG. Talking about OG this, OG that, OG this, OG that. And even brought up Dennis. Scotty brought up Dennis. In fact, Scotty, for a moment, was going on about how proud he was of the various former Raptors in the playoffs right now. Fred, Norman, Kawhi. He went over the whole list. He's like, wow, Raptors are really well represented in the playoffs right now. Fred, OG, Gary, Pascal. He went over the whole list. And he's like, yeah, these are my dudes, man. He even brought up Dennis. Playing for Detroit. Yeah, no ill will to any of these guys, man. I'm telling you right now, Scotty has no problem with Fred. Scotty has no problem with Dennis. All that shit was manufactured by wannabe Scotty fans that think they were doing something good for him, which was totally off base and stupid. In some ways, it was so dumb. But yeah, it's fun hanging out with Scott, watching the playoffs live while he's reacting to them. It was very, very fun. He said something about wanting to maybe start streaming every day in the morning. Wait a second. That's what I do, Scotty. Scotty's like, I'm going to do a live stream every morning on Twitch at 9:30 in the morning. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing, Scott? Come on now. All right, y'all. Enough of me ranting about Scotty on Twitch. If you guys have any questions about the Twitch session with Scott last night, please put it in the comments. I'll answer any questions you have. As more things pop in my head that he said last night, I will tell you them as I remember them. But yeah, that's a good old overview of most of what we did last night, hanging out with Scott for the just over 2 hours. He was on there for just over 2 hours. He got done around 8:30. He was on from around 6:30 to about 8:30 last night. And yeah, it was fun. He was very much happy to be back in Toronto, at his home in Toronto. All right, Trevor J's first into the chat today. Trevor J, thank you, Commissioner Fun, for all you do. Apparently, Trevor's sending me trivia books in the mail now, specifically Raptors trivia books. So we may have some interesting Raptor Freak Tuesday trivias coming up that I will just take the week off and I'll just use the trivia books. Now, nobody go buy these trivia books on your own because we don't need you getting the answers, cheating on the answers, buying the answer key. That's right. So Trevor's saying sometimes we forget how rich we are. The hot water works on a dime. The AC works when we need it, and it can go to any grocery store and purchase what you please to eat. Have a clean kitchen to cook in, too. Have a clean shower to bathe in. Sometimes we forget how blessed we are. I really like these words of wisdom by Trevor right here because in some ways, this is what I'm going to say. People that live in North America, people that live in Europe, people that live in a lot of parts of, countries like Japan, some parts of China, Australia, a lot of more places in Africa, but not as many. There's luxuries of life. If you live in North America, it's more likely that you are doing better than most of the people that you would take randomly from around the world. There's a lot of people struggling in other parts of the world in ways that we just do not comprehend because we have it easy on this continent. It could change. It could get worse, especially with an economic downturn driven by the president of the United States right now, the criminal of the United States is what we should call him. That could make things worse here. And in some ways, what Trevor's saying, we should be grateful for what we have because in some ways, some of this stuff could change very soon. And you're not going to like it when these things that he just mentioned are maybe not available to us for whatever screwed up reason. You got to understand there's people that live in poverty in other places around the world that have none of these things that Trevor just mentioned. And that, so in a way, we have continental privilege. If you are on this continent, North America, it's more likely that you're mostly taken care of. Sure, there's people that live in poverty on this continent also. But even the level of poverty that people in poverty on this continent have compared to the level of poverty that other people may have in very poor parts of Asia, South America, and Africa is a whole other level of not having any of this stuff. So please count your blessings, practice gratitude, and you'll be happier than you ever been in your life. And seriously, these are things that we need to fight to keep for our society and not let the rich just get richer and put everybody outside warming their hands over a oil drum with a fire in it in a tent city where there's thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of homeless on this continent all of a sudden because the housing market's all screwed up, because nobody can live somewhere, because the rich, greedy ass motherfuckers are siphoning every single dollar and penny up to the top, and common people are going to be living out in the streets. That is a dystopian future that Elon Musk would love because that's what he's trying to build right now. I'm telling you right now, we have to resist, we have to fight, we have to take to the streets, we have to take to it politically, and we have to fight. We may have to fight in every single way of the word fight, meaning every single kind of way you can fight them, we will. Because I'm saying that's the future they want. And if we want to keep the things we're grateful for on this continent, and honestly, if this was a just and right world, everybody around the world would have the luxuries that Trevor has just described, and nobody would go without. And we could do it. There's enough wealth in this world that we could do this. But the very wealthy do not want to help the very, very poor. And they'd rather see them die, starve, and just be subjugated to horrible lives. That's just the damn truth. They'd rather have suffering, is what the damn truth is. Trevor's saying Indiana sent Bucks home, and Denver took Game 5. Murray got 43 points last night, and the Pistons beat New York. Yeah, that's kind of the update on the games last night. I'm not upset that the Bucks are done. This is going to cause all kinds of weird shit with Giannis. We know that. We'll have to see where Giannis's head is at and what he's saying publicly to the press after this one. Very cool to hear the kid from Kitchener put up 43 against the Clippers and extended that series in their favor, 3-2 for the Nuggets after Game 5. Very crucial game. Now Kawhi and Norman are going to have to get 2 in a row to get past the former champion Nuggets in that one. Very, very interesting there. And the Pistons did hold off against the Knicks in Madison Square Garden last night in a close game where the referees could have done some funny stuff, but the Pistons held them off and they won. Some very important stuff at the end of the game. OG hitting a very big three to try and win the game. Then Kate Cunningham hitting a couple of important free throws at the end of the game to make sure Pistons won in New York, in Madison Square Garden in that game last night. Wow. Wow. So now it's 3-2 for uh, the Knicks still. So they held off elimination. Detroit gets another day to play, and they'll go back to Detroit for game 6. So we'll have to see what happens there. So good NBA action there last night. Fun stuff. And once again, as I said, watching parts of those two games, the Pacers game and the Knicks game with Scottie was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. It really was. Let's see. Trevor is saying that the Sparks are going to retire Candace Parker's number 3 jersey on June the 29th. And the WNBA All-Stars game in Indy is already sold out. Pretty cool. The season hasn't even started, and All-Star Weekend's already sold out for WNBA. Scottie brought up the WNBA last night, talking about it on Twitch. He asked the chat, who is the MVP all-time GOAT of the WNBA? And a lot of people throwing in names like Aja Wilson, Candace Parker was mentioned in this one, Angel Reese. Some people said Sue Bird. Some people said Lisa Leslie. You know, they were throwing in all kinds of names from the history of the WNBA. Scottie interested in it. And Scottie going on about Paige. Scott's a huge Paige fan. Of course, he hung out with Paige Bookers and Chris Boucher at a Subway commercial a couple of years ago, filming a commercial with them. And he's like, y'all, listen, you do not know basketball if you do not know who Paige Bookers is. I'm saying serious right now. Y'all can act like y'all know basketball, talk out your ass. But if you do not know who Paige is, you do not know jack shit about basketball. That's Scottie. Scottie said that last night. I said, Paige is really good, is what he said. Really, really good. And Scottie was going on and on about the tempo last night. Yeah, he brought up the tempo on his stream last night. He said the tempo are going to sell out. They're going to be a huge hit, and everybody's going to be going to the games. He said he's going to go to the games too. The Toronto Tempo will have a fan in Scottie Barnes, is what he declared last night. So that's pretty cool. Cool to hear Scottie just on his own time talking about WNBA, talking about how much he respects the women's game. And also he's very excited about the Tempo joining the league next year. So yeah, Seymour Pape saying Gary Trent Jr. Oh, how he never lets me down. The guy literally was cooking. And I'm like, wow, I've never seen this guy play like this before. But sure enough, Butterfingers loses the game for his team. Yeah, and that turnover was really bad because it went between his legs and it's just like little people. Oh man, I felt so bad for Gary. Man, Gary's really is like it sucks because you know what? He's worked so hard. He's done so much. He does so much. He's so good. And then there's just one crucial mistake or something like that. And somebody's man, dude's so good though. I mean, he's been really consistently the second best player for the Bucks after Giannis in this series. And you know what? Even if he fucked up that last part, he's going to get a good contract this summer. I hope he does. He deserves it. He's been through hell the last 2 years. And this playoff showcase that he just showed, that's going to get him money this summer. That's going to get him money this summer. But yeah, Gary's tough, man. Gary is tough because, you know, he's going to be crazy in the zone, hit like 10 threes in a row. And then boom, all of a sudden, there's some miss or something like a turnover like what happened last night. And everybody's going to be like, oh, no, he's not that great. Nah, the dude was great. He made one mistake at a crucial moment. But honestly, they don't even get to that moment without him doing what he did earlier. We got to remember that. Seymour, always good to see. Alberta holding it down on the Raptor Freak stream. Seymour Pape holding it down with the Mountain Time for us. That's right. Oh, my. Manners, top of the day to all of you from Mountain Region Time. There you go. That's all right. I didn't say hi to you either. It just went right into the comment. Sometimes you do that. Sometimes you just do that. Always good to see you, my guy. Dap. There you go. Dap. That's right. Trevor J saying Mobo already put in work, seeing all the clips from on his Instagram stories. All right, let's go look at the Instagram stories since Trevor has given me the cue. First of all, the Toronto Tempo is announcing a new owner of the franchise. It's Sukhinder Singh Cassidy is one of the owners of the Tempo now. So they're announcing new teammate. Welcome, Sukhinder. And this is presented by Sephora. One of the corporate partners of the Toronto Tempo is Sephora. We know it's Sephora and CIBC as two of the main partners with the Toronto Tempo going forward right there. Good stuff. And let's see. They're congratulating somebody for the PHWL is expanding to Seattle. So there's going to be a new PWHL, Professional Women's Hockey League team coming in Seattle soon. The Blue Jays want me to put the feeders out. They're hilarious. They're looking at me through the window. I took them down because it was so windy yesterday, and I haven't put them back out there. Toronto Tempo's asking everybody, what do you want to see next as far as apparel? They've got little boxes with 4 different items, and they want to know what you want to get for Toronto Temple apparel. There's a bucket hat. There's a little duff bag. There's some white boots, and there's a purple shirt. So maybe they're letting you vote on which items do you want Toronto Tempo apparel in, because they'll go ahead and get it for you. They're being very fan interactive. So they want your feedback. What do you want to see next as far as that? Let's see. There's Jonathan Bobo. This is what Trevor's talking about. Jonathan is not in Toronto. Scottie and Lloyd and them came back to Toronto, and Jonathan took off to San Francisco immediately. He is at his alma mater at San Francisco with the Dons, and he's putting in work on their home court right now. Day one, training, serious players only. He's wearing the Raptors warm-up shirt, but he is in San Francisco at his old alma mater. There's the pictures of the very hilly streets of San Francisco. Of course, the famous TV show with Michael Douglas, The Streets of San Francisco. And, well, there he is putting up shots. He's putting in work with the trainer there. Grady's at a baseball game, it looks like, on his Instagram stories. He's at the Kansas University baseball team's game. So Grady making an appearance at his alma mater also, talking baseball, it looks like, with one of his old teammates. Of course, Matt Devlin was calling the game last night for the Pacers and the Bucks. And Scottie was like, whoa, Matt Devlin's calling it. And he was like making note of that. He's like, man, Matt Devlin's so cool. And I was saying in the chat, I was like, Matt Devlin is one of the best announcers in the NBA. That's why he's on NBA TV. They called him up. They could get any other team that didn't make the playoffs to come do this, but they picked Matt Devlin. That's because he's one of the best. And he is. He's really good. And people down south, like, hear him on NBA TV, and they'll be like, oh, who's this announcer? He's like, oh, that's the Toronto Raptors announcer. And I'm not worried about Matt joining some other team or leaving our team for something. No, he loves being the Raptors voice. Matt's a real one, just like Scottie is. And Scottie was talking effusively and very passionately about Matt Devlin and the way he does the announcing for the Raptors too. He's very positive about him, obviously. Jamal Shed is what's going on here? He's still on the NBA draft stuff. He said, hang on, it says, humble, God-fearing, and thankful. You are one of a kind, brother. And he's talking about J.D. Barron, his friend from Texas, who got drafted to the Denver Nuggets. They say he was at his draft party. So he's still celebrating that. Also, Shed, I believe it's his sister. His sister is teaching class. It's Miss Autumn Shed. And she's got a classroom and a whiteboard. And I guess she's going to be the teacher. She's at the Jewel Institute of Education. So there you go. Jamal Shed putting his sister on blast for her excellence in her occupation. Eugene Omaroy is showing some love to Jalen Williams. Of course, Eugene, our guy for 905, he has a lot of love for the Oklahoma City Thunder because he played for them for a little while. So he's a big fan of SGAs. He's a big fan of Jalen Williams, and he's a big fan of the Thunder winning a championship this year. So Eugene, yeah. Brandon Ingram getting hooked up by Canada Goose yesterday. Canada Goose sending him a big, fluffy Michelin Man jacket. And Brandon's feeling it. He's liking it. He's like, oh, this is quality, man. It makes you look like you're fat, Brandon. You're such a skinny guy, a slim reaper like Durant. But there you go. You put that Canada Goose jacket on there, man. You start looking like Charles Barkley vintage. Yeah, there you go. Canada Goose hooking up with Brandon Ingram and giving him a jacket. There you go. Also, there's a song playing on Brandon's Instagram stories, and I'm not totally sure, but it may be his music, guys. If you want to peep some music that may be made by Brandon Ingram, go on his Instagram stories. It's Supa and B4L Deuce. Is he B4L Deuce? B4L Deuce? I don't know. Maybe these are just friends of his. I should have done more research into this. But I know that Brandon makes music, and there's music on his Instagram stories that could possibly be Brandon. And it's the song's called Who Got the Gas? Who got the gas? Who got the gas? AJ Lawson doing the rounds with the TV media people yesterday. Brampton's own Toronto Canadian AJ Lawson going downtown in Toronto, and I see him with Dwight Drummond, the great journalist of Toronto, Dwight Drummond from CBC, sitting down with AJ Lawson, doing an interview with him, probably talking about being a hooper from Toronto playing for the Raptors. So we need to look out for that on TV yesterday or somewhere. Maybe it'll be in a clip, Trevor. We got to find it and put it up so we can watch the interview between AJ Lawson and Dwight Drummond, longtime great and reporter here in Toronto for CP24 and many other places. You know, Dwight Drummond, guys. So yeah, he was sitting with him. Then he went and did another show. It looks like AJ was on the score with somebody talking on the score also yesterday. So he did the score show with Karma Jones. And then also he was on another show. So AJ was on a whole bunch of shows yesterday. He was on the set with Serena Bowd on some sort of cooking show or something. I don't know what that show was. Oh, they got shoes. They got shoes or something. And then finally, AJ was on CBC Sports HQ also. So yeah, AJ Lawson doing the rounds of being on media things yesterday. So you may see AJ pop up on TV in different places coming up. Slim Duck is out driving yesterday, and he's singing "What the Helly." What the Helly is like. Yesterday was weird weather. We had beautiful, beautiful over plus 20 degrees weather in Toronto and Ontario, even up here where I'm at up north. It was just beautiful summer day yesterday. But in the middle of the afternoon, the winds came, and they were blowing some major, major wind and some rain and some tumultuous weather. And well, Chris got hit with it. In fact, they had an issue with the weather yesterday to the point where they canceled Jurassic Park for the Maple Leaf fans for the hockey game last night. They said, don't come down to the arena. We have inclement weather and it's dangerous for y'all to come down here. But then the weather changed and they said, no, wait, you can't come down. And they reopened Jurassic Park for the Leaf fans for they lost to Ottawa last night. And it's scary because they're 3-2 now. They were up and they could have swept, but now they've lost twice in a row to Ottawa. And I know Leaf fans are a little bit, let's just get the next win and get the next round. But Slim Duck got caught in this deluge of rain. And it's on his Instagram stories, him driving around in the rain, kind of dealing with it. Lloyd is showing that he is back in New York. He may have stopped by in Toronto, coming back from Asia with Scottie and them, but he got back on a plane and he flew back home to New York. So Lloyd is back in New York. And, well, he was helping Scott last night through the stream. He was being the moderator, and Scottie needed to change his screens around so he could put the game in one little box and his face in a little box. And Lloyd had to get on the phone and do some tech support for him. We were talking about WR Builds. It's like, where's WR Builds? He'll help you, Scottie. He was like, no, Lloyd will help you. What about Lloyd? Why not Lloyd? Why not Lloyd help you? And he did. He called him up and he let him know. He let him know what's up. We got Orlando Robinson on the Instagram stories. He's out on vacation and he is just in a really nice place, a beautiful tree. It's been real. So he's had a really nice vacation. I know he was in the islands somewhere. Kelly Olynyk has a year in review up on his Instagram stories right now. Of course, Kelly is showing a lot of the Pelicans and stuff, not really much about his season recap with the Raptors, even though he's with the Raptors for half the season. I don't know. There's a weird thing about that. I feel like Kelly might feel a little mad that the Raptors moved on from him so quickly. But either way, he's happy in New Orleans, and he's happy because he's got a new baby on the way. So you can't be that upset. Jonas Valanciunas is in my Instagram stories this morning. He went to a jersey retirement for a Lithuanian player named Baba Brauskas. Baba Brauskas, number 5. Pretty interesting there. We got Young Och posting on his Instagram. Coach Andrew Jones did the Bro Cave Sports podcast. So if you want to listen to a podcast with 905 Coach Andrew Jones, he appeared on the Bro Cave Sports podcast. It's episode 73. So if you want to check that out, you can hear him on that. And let's see what else. His wife, who's in that contest for best mom, she actually is number 1 on the rankings. There's also an event that's coming up, Clippers and Combs. It's a haircuts and braid ups and more for coaches and mentors. It'll be at the Royal Crown School, 4620 Finch Avenue East, Scarborough, Ontario, on May the 3rd. Book your appointment now, 1 to 6 p.m. They did 2 of these events already. This is to raise some money, and they're for coaches and mentors to self-care this Saturday. It's generously funded by Coach Darko, apparently. So Coach Darko has funded this event that Andrew Jones will be at. So check that out. And yeah, let me see. Where's the thing where he's saying, yeah, Supermom is currently first. So Andrew Jones's wife is number 1 on the list for supermoms right now in that supermom contest that she was asking for. Raptors officials doing Raptors Basketball Academy. There's your Instagram stories for today. Lots going on. People at different places. San Francisco for Jonathan. Grady's in Kansas. And Scotty's back home in Toronto. That's right. Scotty's in Toronto, baby. Let's go. Let's go. All right, let's see what else is going on here. Reggie's saying Milwaukee losing like that. Wow. Wow. Yeah. They kind of did the dip on y'all. I heard y'all in the chat saying, "Ooh, Milwaukee's gonna win." But then all of a sudden, somehow, some way, the Pacers pulled it out and won the game. It was kind of a switcheroo because everybody's like, "Wow, Gary's gonna win this game for Milwaukee." And everybody's so happy, and then all of a sudden, wow, Pacers actually won at the end. It was kind of like that, wasn't it? Kind of like that, yeah, yeah. They was really thinking Milwaukee's gonna win, and then boom, all of a sudden, Pacers won somehow, some way. It's crazy. Crazy. Reggie's saying the Nuggets beat the Clippers 131 to 115. Sounds like Jamal Murray really woke up and decided, yeah, we're going to make sure Denver is winning this game. Make sure Denver is going to win this game. That's right. Let's keep going in the chat. Stargate is saying this. All right, we're good to see so many names in the chat talking today on the stuff that's going on. Smooth saying, with any luck, they can close them out in Game 6 and send Norman and Kawhi back to Las Vegas and San Diego. Man, he really doesn't like Kawhi. I hope that that's not true. For me personally, I'm rooting for the Clippers still to beat the Nuggets, but we'll see. Maybe the experience of the Nuggets will be enough to beat the overwhelming powerfulness of the cyborg Kawhi Leonard. We'll have to see, man. This is where Kawhi's got his back against the wall. We got to see how Kawhi acts when it's like this. You know, Kawhi ain't going to go out easy. That's right. In some ways, he might go absolutely crazy in this next game in LA when the Clippers and the Nuggets play Game 6. He might go absolutely crazy. You know that. You know that. Trevor's saying, what do you think, Doc and Giannis? What do you think? Doc and Giannis out Bucks front office make bad decisions. What is that? What are you saying? What do you think, Doc and Giannis out Bucks front office make bad decisions? Are you saying that they said publicly that they make bad decisions? Did they do that? Did Doc say that the front office has made bad decisions? Is that what you're saying, Trevor? I don't understand. If you're bringing me news, bring me news. Don't bring me conjecture. Did these guys publicly throw the front office under the bus? Is that what you're saying? I didn't pay attention enough to this. I don't care. If whatever's going to develop in Milwaukee is going to develop, they made their own bed. They can lie in it. So, whatever happens with them, we'll see. Giannis is disgruntled, wants to leave Milwaukee. They fired Doc Rivers. I mean, that's all stuff that I don't mind seeing. I could see them firing Doc Rivers and hiring Darvin Ham. I could see that being like maybe the fall guy for what happened just now. Is that Doc Rivers has failed in the playoffs once again. He's an easy person to blame. I thought they were going to fire him last summer. So they might as well just fire him this year. And they have an easy replacement. Darvin Ham is who they want to coach this team after him. But maybe they're like, no, we kind of like Doc doing this still. I don't know. We'll have to see. It's too soon. There's going to be a little bit of fallout. There's going to be some fallout from this, but it may develop over the next few days or next couple weeks, and not right away. We'll have to see. We'll have to see. Cool Cat's here. Good morning, Raptor Free Crew. Good morning to the coach, Cool Cat. Hope you're having a fantastic Wednesday so far. Trevor's saying Doc did the same thing with Sixers and achieved nothing. Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to disagree with you. Doc Rivers has not been successful in the playoffs since he won a championship with the Boston Celtics, and that was like almost 20 years ago. That was almost 20 years ago when he won a championship with the Celtics and Kevin Garnett and Paul Pierce. Yeah, that was like so long ago, and he has had no success in the playoffs, whether it was with Orlando, whether it's with Philadelphia, whether it's with Milwaukee, whether it's with Clippers. It doesn't matter whatever team he's been on and around. He has not had success with them to the level that they would have liked. That's right. That's right. Bryce is here. Good morning, Lex and the Raptor Freaks. Good morning to you, Bryce. Holding it down in the great state of Kentucky, the Kentucky Wildcats, Jamal McGlure, SGA, Jamal Murray. There's so many good, great Kentucky players. Emmanuel Quickly. Yeah. Yeah. The home of the Wildcats. That's where Bryce Lawson is habitating. Love to see Bryce in the chat. Cool Cat's saying the NBA league is in good hands. The next generation of players love basketball, and it's not just money. That's part of it. That's why I think this next generation, as we pass away from the LeBron era to the next group of young players, they're in it for the right reasons. They are. In some ways, this league is not just evolving to where it's ultra talented, multi-purpose players that can do everything on the court. It's also, you've got to have that other extra package in you as far as mentality, toughness, and why you do it, why you do what you do. Because some of these players that came in during LeBron's era did it for all the wrong fucking reasons. And that's the reason why we got half-assed efforts. That's the reason why we got half-assed careers. That's why the reason why we got selfish-ass players that could have done so much better in their careers, but they didn't because they were in it for the wrong reasons. There's way more of these young players right now that are doing it for the right reasons. Guys like SGA, guys like Victor Wembanyama. Anthony Edwards may have problems off the court, but he does it for the right reasons on the court. Scottie Barnes does it for the right reasons. And that's why I won't be sad to say goodbye to the generation of Kevin Durant and LeBron James, because honestly, y'all did not do a good job carrying the relay baton between the generations of Jordan to the generations that's about to start now. Y'all really fumbled. Seriously. Y'all hurt the league because y'all look lazy. Y'all hurt the league because you cared about the wrong shit. And now, hopefully, the young stars that are coming up that will be the top of the league and the faces of the league will carry the mantle better than the one that just finished. Seriously, I'm not going to be upset to see the generation of Paul George go away. Because honestly, I've hated the NBA for 20 years now, and I'm ready to start liking it again. And I really do feel like the main faces and the main figureheads of the league dictate the way the league feels, like Michael Jordan did, like Bill Russell did. And LeBron James did not make this league feel right for a lot of it. He's great individually for himself. But in some ways, he wasn't good for the collective of the league because the way he led this league and his example was shitty. Let's just put it that way. Some people say, you're crazy, Lex. He was durable. He always played. No, but he didn't play for the right reasons. I'm going to tell you right now, he did not play for the right reasons deep down. And it shows in the outcome of his career. It shows in how many times he went to the finals and lost. He didn't play for the right reasons. Michael Jordan played for the right reasons. You can see it in the way he played. Magic Johnson played it for the right reasons. You can see it in the way he played. Bill Russell played for the right reasons. You can see in the way he played. But this guy in this era, and he being the figurehead, setting the tone, yeah, that's what I say. I'll be happy to see this generation go away, and we can go to the next one. Sure, I'll celebrate the excellence of people like Steph Curry and LeBron James and say, yeah, these guys were great. But I'm not sad to see their era go away. Seriously, I am not. I'm ready to get back to respectable basketball where I respect the players in the league because they are men that are playing the game for the right reason. And Scottie Barnes is one of those examples right there. G said Giannis and Hallie's father had words. Yeah, this was weird. I wasn't sure if they were friends or not. Giannis, you don't do yourself any favors in acting like that. In some ways, you seem like you're part of that old generation and not part of this new generation. You're more like Kevin and LeBron. And in some ways, I don't fault you because you've been around them a long time as their contemporary. But in some ways, that why do you do this, man? What's your whole point in this? Once again, Giannis, you look younger and dumber than your age. Like, seriously, this is like teenage dumb shit. What you're doing? You're walking around on the court afterwards, getting in different people's faces, and like having little skirmishes. First with Tyrese, then you go over and have a little skirmish with his dad, and then there's another big skirmish in the middle of the court. And Matt Devlin's just trying to wrap up the game, and he's like, "Oh, and there's something going on in the middle of the court." And they're holding back Giannis from players on the Pacers. It's like he's out there talking to James Johnson. Bro, didn't you just see this athletic pole? You're not supposed to fuck with James Johnson. He will hurt you badly. He's not a ladder. He can actually kick and punch. He's not a ladder. Yeah. Yeah. In some ways, it's like, bro, Bobby Portis came over to talk to James Johnson where he said, yo, we're good, bro, right? Yeah, we're good, Bobby. Don't worry. Y'all lost. We won. I'm not going to fight you. Good. I don't want to have to fight you. Yeah, because I'm scared of you. Yeah, you should be scared of me. I have 10 black belts, and I can do a standing backflip, and I'll do some crazy ninja flip kicks and shit to your head. Yeah, you should be scared of me. I don't know why Giannis was over there jawing at people, getting in Tyrese Halliburton's father's face. Like, seriously, what was that? I thought y'all were talking actually nice. Like, I thought you were friends, but no, it wasn't. It was some sort of intimidation. Why are you talking trash to a dude's dad on the side of the court? Is he that involved in the game? Was he yelling at you the whole game? And you're like, yeah, I got to come over and talk to this guy because he was annoying the whole game. Tyrese's dad is annoying. I don't know. Is he like T. Morant? Is he like just getting involved in shit? Is that why Giannis had to get in Tyrese Halliburton's father's face at the end of the game? First of all, you look bad for this, Giannis. You should be a classy loser and walk off the court, shake everybody's hands and walk off the court. Why are you so pissed off? Why are you getting angry? The game's over. You look stupid when you get all angry in people's faces. You know what? You should have gotten angry on the court and took it out in the game and played your ass off and beat their ass. Then you wouldn't have been angry like this. Seriously, like, what are you doing after the game looking cheap and stupid like that, trying to start fights? Indiana Pacers fans are celebrating. Indiana Pacers want to celebrate on their court, and you're standing around out there getting in people's faces, holding things up, and just being a poor sport and a bad loser. I'm telling you, I don't want him on our team. Y'all, I know, are going to go crazy in Raptors Nation. You're going to want to building all these trade ideas for getting Giannis landed here in Toronto. I'm saying no, 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 and no to all of them. I don't care if the connection with Masai is strong. I don't care if we wanted him 5 years ago. I don't give a shit about any of that. It's too little too late. And this man, in some ways, is not conducive for winning at this point. That's loser behavior that he did at the end of the game last night. And I don't want that around my team. I don't want that around my team. I just don't, man. I just don't, man. That's right. Giannis and Hallie in their interviews, and Hallie's dad posted an apology. You know, it's just excitement. It's just the intensity of the competition. Sure, if Halliburton's father felt like he needed to apologize to him, so be it. He's a good man for it. But in some ways, first of all, you know what, Giannis? In some ways, unless the fan is crossing the line with some personal shit, like talking about your personal life or something like that in an ugly way, maybe a tragedy in your life, you know, like the Russell Westbrook shit that happened a couple of years ago. You know what? The fans, it's all bullshit. They're gonna boo. They're gonna crap. They're gonna do stuff like that. You should be used to it. You should have a little bit of a thicker skin. You should be like, yeah, this is part of basketball. This is part of competitive sports. There's gonna be booing and cheering, and I'm in an opposing arena. People are gonna boo me. People are gonna talk trash. People are gonna do that. There's a certain level of it that should be expected. You know, they're gonna count when you're at the free throw line to make sure that you're not taking so long to fucking take your free throws. They're gonna do all that shit, because that's part of what it is to have home court advantage. So, Giannis, why are you upset that people are talking trash to you from around the court? Aren't you used to that 41 games a season? Aren't you? Isn't that something that you should be used to, man? Seymour saying Halliburton's pop wants all the smoke. Yeah, I mean, I wasn't sure what's going on there. I thought that they were just really like, maybe they were having like a little Christian moment. It's like, oh, let's talk about the Lord real quick. Guys, it's a good game. They're like really intense and talking fast. I was like, oh, it looks like Halliburton's dad is friends with Giannis. I didn't know that they were arguing and they're mad at each other. I thought they were just talking very intensely at each other, maybe about their faith in Christ. They were like, oh, yeah, I love God too. This was a great series. It's so much fun. I'm going to go home and play with my kids now. Oh, yeah, yeah. My son appreciates playing against great like you, Giannis. Okay, that's what they weren't saying? They weren't saying that? What were they saying then? I kind of want to know. I kind of want to know. G saying, haha, Seymour. It was entertaining. At least these playoffs have some spice to them. That's right. That's what Scottie loves. Scottie loves the chippiness. Scottie loves all this. This makes more sense. That's why he's going to get in DeAndre Ayton's face like that. Because Scottie is all about this kind of energy. He made it very clear last night that the stuff like him, he is not him, Quentin Grimes, the stuff with DeAndre Ayton, the stuff where he's not backing down from anybody, the way he will get in people's faces, because Scottie's all bouty that. You think that Halliburton's dad's all about it? Scottie is. And he's going to be like that. In some ways, we were wondering, do the Raptors have a player like Charles Oakley or Serge Ibaka on this team right now? I think Scottie's that guy, possibly. Even as the most important franchise player, he might be that dude too. Seriously, give him a couple more years and he's strong and he's just like more feared as a strong guy around the league. He could be an enforcer along with what he's doing. Seriously, I could see this with Scott. In some ways, he relishes it, is what he let the cat out of the bag last night. He relishes that kind of energy. I'm telling you. Seymour's saying, yo, boom in the Najee Marshall trade talks for Oshai, just washroom reads, or is it a possibility? I'm going to say this right now, just blanketly for the whole entire summer. Everything you read about trade rumors, throw it in the trash because we are set already. There's no major trades coming. I don't see why we would trade Oshai for Marshall. We've got Oshai in. Oshai's fitting with their guys. Oshai's doing well. There was a little bit of a question mark after last season because we're like his offense was a little awkward, but his defense is really sound. He's useful, and he developed his offense to not look so awkward this past season. So once again, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. There's no reason for us to make any trades. So everything y'all hear from Raptors content makers and bullshit around the league, rumors, don't listen to any of it. Because I'm going to say this right now. Bobby and Masai already did their offseason work. Brandon Ingram's already landed. There may be little secondary moves like re-signing Chris Boucher or Garrett Temple, getting our draft pick. There may be a small free agency signing. I don't see any trades, though. I do not see this team trading. I would be pissed off at Bobby and Masai if they did some sort of level trade where they had our former Knicks players involved. If either one of those two guys are traded out for some other name, I would be pissed off because I don't want to see that. I would like to continue with these guys. These guys are enjoying being here and they're good nucleus. So I would only say that players like them or Oshai, sure, they could get traded, but I don't see it. And I would say everything that you read like this, Seymour, is a roll next to the toilet. Just wipe and flush because that's all that is garbage. It's garbage. Najee Marshall for Oshai Abaji trade rumor. Who cares? It's stupid. If it happened, I would react to it then. That's always the way I've said on this. I don't like going over trade rumors, every single ones that come out every day. It's a waste of time. And once again, if we're really looking at the front office of the Raptors and what they're doing right now, you're astutely looking at it. They're already done. They finished their offseason when they did the Brandon trade at the trade deadline. They're already done. And he is the man who's coming in to improve us more, plus the draft picks that we're going to get. So that's what I would say to that. Every single thing trade oriented, throw it in the garbage immediately this summer. It's just not realistic or likely the way that we are right now. That's right. Fiercey's here. Good to see MJ in the morning. Good morning, fam. And happy Wednesday. I'm so bummed. I missed Scottie's stream. I was playing basketball with my daughter and her team. I got a wake-up call. No longer young, but worth it. This is funny. So MJ got out on the court with Fiercey Jr. and was oiling the gears. Yeah, getting out there, seeing what's going on still. I get you on this. In some ways, the younger people, they may move around fast. When I was playing against my nephew around Christmas, and I was playing 2-on-1, those two against me, man, I blocked the hell out of them, and I took them to school. But let's not say that the joints weren't creaking a little bit. Oh, yeah, they were creaking. And I wasn't playing easy on them either. I was like, I don't care if y'all are 10-year-old kids. I'm going to take you to school. And I did. I took them to school. I taught them some things. I was the bus driver. But was sore. I was sore. And I hit the ground hard on one play. There was one play where I lost my balance and landed on my side real hard. And my nephew was very worried about me, saying, are you okay, Uncle Lex? Are you okay? I'm like, yeah, I'm all right. I'm all right. It was fine. But yeah, you got to be careful, MJ. But it's nice to hear that you were on the court putting in work with your daughter and her friends and playing. Yeah, it's too bad you missed Scottie. But I know you'll be back in there. You're a Scottie Barnes Twitch family forever. And he'll be happy to see you in there too. He said this too at the end of the chat. He said, y'all, I see all the names from before, and I appreciate that y'all are back again. I remember all y'all. This is what he said. Seriously, and I know he's talking about me, talking about Guerrilla Marketing, talking about Erica Plays. You know, these are original Scottie Barnes Twitch family people that have been there every single time when he comes in there. Of course, he knows who Guerrilla Marketing is. Of course, he knows who the Raptor Freak is. In fact, he was reading my comments once again. I didn't even sub up. I'm not even subbed up on his channel right now, and he's reading my comments. He was asking everybody who we're rooting for in the NHL, and I said Winnipeg Jets, and I was the only one in there that said Winnipeg Jets. He said, "Oh, Winnipeg Jets, Raptor Freak." I was like, "Yeah, I'm Winnipeg's Jets fan." That's right. That's right. Kaloy's here. Good to see Carlo JS. I hope Scottie moving forward gives Filipino fans their flowers for visiting Philippines to do camps. You know, that could be a possibility. I think that he really, really liked it over there. He was really impressed with Phuket. He really went on and on about Phuket, Thailand. And then, yeah, he was talking about Manila and the love for basketball there and how every single place he went to, he was recognized by Filipino people, that they all know basketball over there. It's like, you know, over here, there may be fans that they're not anything to do with the NBA, but everybody in the Philippines knows about basketball. That's what Scottie was saying. Everybody over there knew who he was. And he was like, holy crap. Like, even grandmas over here know who I am. It's kind of like what he was saying. It's like this old lady over here says, Scottie Barnes. Wait, how do you know me? You watch the NBA? You're like 70. It's like, seriously, it's like that over there, apparently. Seymour saying Fiercey and Lil Fiercey's 100%. Yeah, I love that MJ's out there hitting the courts. You know, that's a great way to stay young, you know, keep in shape. You got to get out there and keep working your body. Know your limits. Maybe play half court. Maybe, like don't push it too far hard or physical where you're like hitting the ground or getting fouled hard or anything like that. Know your limits and play smart. You don't want any weird injuries. Fiercely saying, I'm not too sure what happened at the end of the Bucks Pacers game. Turnover was a scuffle. I saw Giannis talking with Hallie's dad, but unclear if he was pissed or not. But then he showed great sportsmanship. Yeah, he was pissed. Apparently, they were talking very tough, and I thought that they weren't. I thought they were friends or something like that. I didn't realize what was going on there. It was very unclear. It was very unclear. That game was interesting. There was a lot of talk about Pascal versus Gary in the Scottie Barnes Twitch, like asking Scottie, "Did you know that Pascal and Gary don't like each other?" And Scotty's like, "No, they like each other. What are you talking about? There's no problem between those guys." And Scottie made it very clear. There's no personal problem between Siakam and Trent, that they're just ultimate competitors that are competing hard, and that this is just them going at each other like that. And in some ways, it's friendly and fun because they do have a prior relationship of friendship. So fans were once again trying to pull weird shit apart and trying to say, Scottie, tell us about Pascal and Gary's feud while we're watching this playoff game. And Scottie said, there's no feud. These guys have no problem with each other. They're friends. And it's just that they're playing against each other and they're bringing it at each other. It's just like how Mark Gasol would go at Paul Gasol when the Gasol brothers would play each other. They're brothers. They love each other, but they want to compete against each other and be the better one. It's the same thing. It's the same thing. There's no personal animosity towards Gary Trent Jr. and Pascal Siakam, each other. There's none of it. There's none of it. And Scottie made it very clear last night when he's watching on a Twitch. Yeah. Randolph's here. Blessings, beloved Raptor Freaks, most informative gang. A true friend holds your best interest at heart and will stand up for you in good and bad times. Be a true friend. Yeah. In a world with snakes, a world with people that just will use you while they can use you and they'll get rid of you after they can't use you anymore. To have somebody authentically your true friend that absolutely has your back through thick and thin, no matter what goes, is the best. And those are the best people, and you need to cherish them, and you need to be that in reciprocation for them. If somebody's showing that kind of energy towards you, do not take it lightly. Do not shun it. Do not take it as, this person I'm taking for granted. No, you should share that same energy towards them and give it back to them. That's what I would say. Blessings to the Phillips family, all the Raptor Freak families. Always happy to see Randolph in the chat with us. That's right. Seymour saying, big up, Eli the Ninja Kid. Yeah, big up, Eli the Ninja Kid. This guy's like, what are you, like 9 or something like that? He's like, your name makes me feel like you're 9. And I'm like, I can't have you on my team because, first of all, we're going to be showing up on the game and your name tag is Eli the Ninja Kid. I'm sorry. We cannot have you running in our 5. It is pretty funny. I mean, seriously. He was trying to be really nice about it too. Like, it was kind of the way that he let me down when I asked him if he wanted me to be his personal photographer. I did. Scottie was saying, Max can't come film me anymore. I wish I had somebody filming my life. And well, Lloyd's doing that with the 4 files. Y'all need to check out the 4 files. There's a cut coming out. Honestly, Scottie said he has some content coming out for his channel and behind the scenes stuff, especially from this trip they just went on. And anyway, Scottie was letting down the kid easy, just like he let me down easy with telling me, like, Raptors Freak, I don't want a 40-year-old man following me around taking pictures of me. I was like, yeah, that sounds right. That sounds right, Scott. You're right. I don't even know why I offered. That sounds crazy. So he's like, yeah, Eli, the Ninja Kid 29, I think that you're probably a really good kid. You're awesome. You're great and everything. He's trying to be really nice to him, but he's like, yeah, I can't. I can't have you on my team, man. It's so funny, man. Fiercely saying, people saying Scottie's like a fan streamer don't get it. When you're passionate about something, you'll get any opportunity to enjoy and appreciate it. Well, he is like a fan streamer. He's doing it exactly how like a fan streamer would do it. And there's nothing wrong with that. He is a fan. You're exactly right. He's a fan. And there's nothing wrong with that. In some ways, that is why he does it for the right reason. Magic Johnson was a fan too. Magic Johnson was a huge fan of Dr. J and Bill Russell and people before him. And Scottie's the same way. He's a huge fan of Steph Curry. Once again, he went on and on about Steph Curry and how good Steph Curry is. Like, Scottie is a huge fan for Steph Curry. He really, really is a huge, huge fan. It's Common Crazy saying no swearing Wednesday. Yeah, I'm doing mostly good. I don't think I've swore too much today. I'm in a pretty good mood. G saying, Fiercey, before that, Holly's dad came out with a towel with Hallie's face, showing it to Giannis and yelling profanities. Giannis did end it with a thumbs up to him. Passion and emotion from everyone. Yeah, I mean, either way, Giannis, you do better just not to publicly show all this. If you have to go talk to them behind the scenes and get that all done privately because you know the cameras are out there. And in some ways, people are judging you for how you lose, not just for what happened. In some ways, you got to be a good loser in some ways and be good sportsmanship. And in some ways, hanging around out there and prolonging the end of the game with you going around in security, having to run around and keep people separated. It's just not a good look, man. It's not a good look. Seriously. Even Joel, when he lost that game against us with the shot, he ran off crying and down the hall. And in some ways, that may have been a better look for you, even in this situation. Seriously, you should have been running down the hall crying through the Indiana arena instead of like out there trying to fight Tyrese Halliburton's dad. Seriously, that would have looked better. Seriously, it would look way better. Cool Cat saying, I'm relieved the Pacers Bucks series is over. Man, I don't think Siakam can take any more of Giannis's bulldozing. The wear and tear was painful to watch. Always looking out for her favorite. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I didn't watch the series very closely. If that was happening, your guy Siakam's tough as hell. You know he can run for days, never get tired. You know that man takes punishment. That man is just very wiry and tough, man. I'm not worried about Siakam. Hopefully, he'll get a little bit of time off before he gets to play in the next round. And I guess they will be playing the Cavs, right? They'll be playing the Cavs. So Pacers and Cavs in the next round, and I guess they can start that up right away because both teams are done. So we'll have to see. They got to finish all the first round though, I think, before they absolutely start the second round. So. Let's see. Fiercely saying, yes, Seymour, great mom and daughter activity. It was so great to connect with other players, parents, and the coaches sharing the same passion. That's awesome. That's why basketball is amazing. It's a connector. It's a bonder. It's a community builder. And Fiercey's out there building the community with her daughter and all the people around there. That's fantastic. I love that. I love hearing that. And it's especially important because it's women's sports. That's right. Women's sports are on the rise. And Fiercey Salcera Jr. is the future. Is what I'm saying right there. I love that community there. I love that community. Reggie saying Hallie's dad took a big risk getting into Giannis's face, man. No matter who you are, never get in an athlete's face like that. Yeah, guy at the sushi restaurant with DeMar DeRozan. What the fuck are you doing? Creeping up on him with your flash. And he snatch that phone and throw it across the room, put you on the ground. Yeah. Though I will say Giannis is not somebody I'd be afraid of in public. Seriously. He's too goofy, like a big kid. I don't think he would actually strike anybody. Like him getting right up in Tyrese Halliburton's father's face, it's not scary because in some ways you don't take him seriously that he's going to try and fight somebody. He's just too nice. You've seen the other side of him. I mean, he'll dress up in Halloween costumes for his children in a really goofy Halloween costume and come to the game. Like he's just not like that. It's not like he's a John Morant. No, Giannis is a big cuddly guy, and in some ways, I would not be afraid of him if he bowed up at me. Seriously, him in particular, I wouldn't. I wouldn't be afraid of him because I know his psychology, and in some ways, he's not that kind of guy that's like that. Sure, he might fight somebody in the game in the middle of physicality because he's pissed off somebody shoved him or did something dirty. But in everyday life, Giannis Antetokounmpo is not trying to fight anybody. He's a person to love, and he has everything in the world to be happy about. So I don't see it. I don't see it. Seymour saying flashbacks of DeMar DeRozan altercation. Yeah, it's funny. I just brought that up. Halliburton's dad would have gotten wrinkled easy. I don't disagree with that. I think physically Giannis would hurt people but he's not that kind of person. I just don't think he's a violent person in any kind of way. And if he was getting in my face like he was talking tough or anything, I wouldn't take him seriously. I'm not gonna lie. I would not take him seriously. Because in some ways, it's just that feeling you get when somebody's kind of full of shit about being a tough guy and maybe they'll hurt you. Giannis is not like that. He could hurt people, obviously. He's a huge guy. He's very strong. He's muscular. But he's not the person in his heart that would do that. I'm telling you right now, he's not that dude. He's not that dude. Fiercely saying, thanks for the explanation, G. Hallie's dad, that's not too classy, in my opinion. Be respectful as it's a pressurized environment. You can cheer your kid without taunting the opponents. Yeah. I mean, I can get behind that. I can get behind that sentiment. I mean, it's not classy, but then again, there's a lot of not classiness in this world and other places and stuff like that. People stooping low and being really not classy in certain ways. In some ways, the classy move is to Giannis to ignore it. They can be not classy and act like they're acting. Doesn't mean that Giannis needs to act out his own way. That's what I would say on that. Yeah. Let's see. Seymour saying, I want the Pistons to take the series if F the Knickerbockers. Yeah, me too. Totally. I want to see the Knicks go out in the first round and just see the mess and the feelings of the New York fans and Thibodeau and everything with that. Yeah, I do want to see that. And I'd love to see the success story for the Pistons. I really would. Scotty brought up Cade and his class. He brought this up. Somebody brought it up. They said, Scotty, your rookie class is doing so good right now. Cade Cunningham, all NBA, possibly. Evan Mobley, defensive player of the year. You're a rookie of the year. Franz Wagner, Josh Giddey. Come on, man. He's like, yeah, listen, my rookie class, when we came in, everybody talked about how good we are, and we are showing it, is what Scotty said last night, talking about that group as a whole with him involved in it, saying he's very proud of Cade. In some ways, you could tell when he said it, he's a little bit like jealous. I could feel the jealousy a little bit from Scott about talking about Cade Cunningham possibly being all NBA, because there's a lot of murmurs that Cade Cunningham will get an all NBA nod for this year. It's not going to be first team, obviously, but he could be on the second or third team all NBA, and that's something Scott has not done. It's just like Evan getting the defensive player of the year. That's something Scott has not done, and he'd like to. So it was a little bittersweet, but also Scotty saying proudly, yeah, my rookie class is really, really good, and we are achieving a lot already. In some ways, he was proud about that, but I could also see, Cade's a best friend of his, and he's going to be happy for his accomplishment. But also at the same time, deep down, Scotty's probably thinking, I want that. I want that too. I want that too. That's right. Yeah, come crazy. I did not swear. I don't know if anybody swore this morning yet. I don't think I have. Have I? Have I swore? I don't know. We should have a swear count or something like that. Cool Cat saying, tell Scotty respect the timeline of the Raptor Freak Cruise show. Yeah, I think he respects us. I don't know. I don't know how much he knows about us and stuff like that for sure, but I know he does. I know he does to an extent. He does to an extent. Smooth saying, Hallie's dad is very fortunate Giannis walked away, man. Once again, I'm not going to believe this, Reggie. I'm totally opposite with you. He's a softie. He's not somebody that fights people. I'm telling you right now. You can tell the type. Giannis is not that type. I'm going to disagree with you, Reggie, on this. I'm not worried for Halliburton's dad because Giannis Antetokounmpo is not somebody who fights people. He's a softie. He's a dad. He has small kids, and he is not like that. He doesn't have that kind of edge. I'm sorry. Yeah, he's saying being a dad doesn't give rights to be profane and nasty to another player. I'm not down with that. I don't agree with that either. People are going to cuss at players. They're going to act out of pocket and do stupid shit and taunt. It's the playoffs. It's ratcheted up. Come on, man. We don't want to be soft about this. You go into the game, you're going to hear shit. Tune it out. Play. That's just how it is. DeAndre Rosen screaming in the corner. Well, tune it out. Tune it out. That's just what it is. I'm telling you, man. This is kind of soft right here. Being like, you shouldn't be able to do this. No, they're going to do it. It's just how the NBA is. It's just how the world is. There's going to be trash talk. There's going to be trash talk. And you're going to try and be in a world where there's no trash talk. It's just not possible. I'm sorry. It's going to be happening. Yeah. Fiercey's giving hearts to Scotty. I like it. This G saying, so Scotty's staying here all summer? I guess since his woman and child are here, that would make sense. It's probably likely that he'll be here most of the summer. I think it'll be very similar to past years where, with the team travel, he'll go with the team. The team's going to go different places internationally, like they went to Spain or Miami. He'll do that. But it's very likely that, he's going to be around Ontario more this summer, partly because of his family. And that means his child and the mother of his child. And, I could see that. Of course, he's going to dip down to Florida and probably go by and see the aunties and uncles and cousins and his mom. But for the most part, I'll bet you he will be here in Toronto. And you know what? He knows the secret of Canada and Toronto right now. It's like a switch just switched. He came back from Asia, and the weather is perfect in Ontario right now. So now it's like, whoa, you languish in the cold winter of Toronto all during the season. You want to get the best weather that Ontario has to offer now because this is when it's happening. So Scotty, in some ways, he's not all about the really hot weather down in Florida, I don't think. And in some ways, he doesn't miss being down in like 90 to 100 degree Fahrenheit weather in Miami, in Fort Lauderdale, down where Trevor J lives. He'd much rather be up here with the sunny, breezy, bright blue sky, fresh air. Canada summer weather is very different than down south. Very, very different. And in some ways, you can work out and do more in this weather up here than that very, very hot, sweltering, humid Florida weather. Trust me, I grew up down there. I know it very well. Know it very, very, very well. Fishy's saying congrats to the Pistons. As for the Bucks, do y'all think Doc Rivers will be fired? I say it's a 50-50 chance they'll get fired. He's an easy scapegoat. If they really want to scapegoat somebody, if they're going to go with the action that they did to Mike Budenholzer, it sounds like it should be done. That means a year and a half of Coach Doc Rivers coaching for them. A year and a half. Well, they people are going through coaches like underwear these days. Phoenix, different places. That's just how it is. That's just how it is. Stargate's here. He's saying Halliburton's dad, hang on, let me jump ahead. Let me make sure, was disrespectful. The series is over. There was no need to act that way. Very immature, if you ask me. Doc needs to just go back to broadcasting. His time as a coach is long gone. Yeah, I don't know what Halliburton's dad said or anything like it. Once again, if there's specifics, if y'all have transcripts of what he said, it doesn't matter what he said, guys. Let's not be soft. In some ways, who cares? Giannis isn't a competitor. He's upset. Well, get off the court. Do not show your ass at the end of the game and just get off the court. You don't need to be out there publicly showing your ass. If you are upset and you're pissed off, do it behind closed doors where there's no cameras so there won't be any footage like this. That's what I'm trying to say here. It's one thing to be the Pistons and walk off the court and not shake Michael Jordan, the Chicago Bulls' hand. And it's another thing to stay out on the court while one team is trying to celebrate a series victory and you're getting in the way of everything because you're talking trash to a player's dad and other people. Y'all can be on Giannis's side, but in some ways, his place was not on the court once they lost. His place was not on the court once they lost. Just imagine if the Raptors won the championship in Golden State and fucking Draymond Green would not leave the court while the Raptors are trying to celebrate and bring the trophy up. And Draymond's out there trying to fight people. I can call on the other side, guys. It's a bad look. It's a bad look. Be a better sport and exit the court after a handshake. You don't need to be out there jawing with people continuously. Y'all can have a different opinion than me on this. Speaking about broadcasting, we found out yesterday that Amazon has signed Steve Nash to be one of the broadcasters for their new Amazon broadcast of the NBA coming next year. He'll be paired with Dirk Nowitzki, apparently. And Dirk is joking that Steve Nash, he's going to have to carry Steve Nash again in a job. But yeah, Steve Nash is going to be a brand new announcer as part of the crew for the Amazon crew that's going to be covering the NBA very soon when they start doing the NBA and their contract. So Steve Nash has been hired as a broadcaster. Once again, he's pretty good. He's a knowledgeable guy. Of course, we love Steve as one of the great Canadian players in the NBA's history. And well, just a little news on that. Also, we found out yesterday that former Raptor Doug Christie they've taken the interim tag off of the head coaching job for him in Sacramento. He has been signed to a multi-year deal as the regular head coach of the Sacramento Kings. So they felt like he did a good job after Mike Brown this season. And it's Doug Christie's job to have coaching DeMar DeRozan, Jonas Valanciunas on the Sacramento Kings for next year. So that's cool in Raptors news. Good to see that another former Raptor is in a position of power in the league, much like people like, Landry Fields just got fired. Sean Marks will probably get fired at some point. But there's a lot of former Raptors that went into front office, coaching, all kinds of stuff. Doug Christie on the list, full-time head coach of the Sacramento Kings as of yesterday. And I'm proud of him for that. I love Doug Christie. Doug Christie is a great Raptor and somebody that I do celebrate. Monique is here. The superfan Monique Lawrence is in the house. Good morning, Raptor Freak crew. Let's go, Scotty. Happy Twitch. So Mo was watching the Scotty Twitch, and she was clipping him. She clipped that part where Scotty is talking about Darko and the offense that we have. Yeah, really, really cool. I know Mo is giddy and happy to hang out with Scotty just like I am and be in the chat with him. Of course, y'all, once again, our first Raptor Freak hangout of the summer will be June the 7th at the NBA restaurant in celebration of superfan Monique Lawrence's birthday. So if you would like to come and meet me, meet the superfan and other people from around our channel that will be coming down there, it's June the 7th at the NBA restaurant, Queens Quay, Toronto. Anybody's welcome to come. If you're coming from out of town, please come from out of town and hang out with us at the NBA restaurant for Monique's birthday. It'll be a good time. It'll be in the afternoon on that Saturday. So make plans accordingly. If you're interested in coming and hang out at a Raptor Freak in-person hangout, that's the next one, June the 7th, NBA restaurant, Monique's birthday. I hope you'll come down. And if you can, bring her a gift, and we'll celebrate the superfan's birthday. That's right. Cool Cat saying, I'm supporting Jamal first, Denver over Clippers, then wish Norman good performance. Yeah, this has got people divided. I didn't realize just how many people really do not like Kawhi. Like, seriously, some people have put out this thing recently saying that everybody in the league loves Kawhi. How could you be mad at Kawhi? And I'm like, well, you're forgetting about San Antonio, right? You're seriously forgetting about San Antonio. And I should add also, there's a good contingency of Raptors fans that don't like Kawhi either. And that's true. I mean, some people are saying, oh, Kawhi's just, how could you not like Kawhi? He's just pure and awesome and just what he does. It's just that he's been hurt so much. Yeah, but he also burned the San Antonio franchise. And there's a lot of San Antonio fans that hate him, absolutely hate him. And there's still quite a few Raptors fans that don't like him either. I'm not with that. I'm not with that. I really do. I respect Kawhi, and I know he made a dumb mistake. And in some ways, it is what it is. I got used to what he did. I do not think what Kawhi did is worse than what Vince did. I do not think what Kawhi did is worse than Chris Bosh did. I do not think what Kawhi did is worse than Tracy McGrady did. Because in some ways, Kawhi was just basically himself the whole time, and he did his diligence when he was our guy, and he was the ultimate competitor, and he did achieve what we wanted him to do. So why could we get mad at him? You know, he fulfilled his promise for us, and that was to come and play for us for 1 year, and he got a championship for us. I can't be mad at that, y'all. Y'all can be haters and say, I don't want Kawhi to do this. I don't want Kawhi to do that. But I'm not with that. I'm a pro Kawhi Raptors fans. And I just feel like, it's petty. It's petty. In some ways, look, he's already been punished enough the last few years of failing in Clippers land. In some ways, I kind of want to see before that gas runs out of the tank with him in his career and him not being able to play anymore, a chance to try and go one more time. And that's why I would root for him on this right now. In some ways, I see the demise of the Nuggets. You can prolong it and just keep putting it off by seeing some success in the playoffs this year, but they're going to have to rebuild this team. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. And they may delay it with success in this playoff season this year. That may not be good for them. It may be better for them to lose in the first round against the Clippers for them in the long term, is what I'm saying right now. Yeah, Trevor's saying Tyrese Halliburton apologized to Giannis for his father's behavior for being disrespectful. Okay, well, if they did something wrong, they're apologizing for it. There you go. That's good. That's good. That is good, man. Stargate saying, Lex, this wasn't on Giannis. This is totally Halliburton's dad's fault. Well, I don't know for sure. Either way, I mean, once again, it takes two to tango. You don't have to take that bait. You don't have to take that bait. I don't know what he said exactly, but if he said something bad enough to have to apologize, okay. In some ways, it is what it is. It's all just extracurricular shit. And I mean, I didn't totally watch it. I did see the clips at the end of them talking. I don't know what he said during the game. I don't know what he was doing during the game. So in some ways, I just saw Giannis not leaving the court after the game. And I'm like, why is he not leaving the court? And that's the biggest thing. If they want to fix this, they can fix it off court after the game in privacy. It's saying Giannis isn't wrong on this one. It's optics. I'm not even saying that he's wrong or right. Sometimes it's just the way it looks. It doesn't look good. That's all my only argument is on this. Yeah, they were quite profane with him. Quite profane? What? How profane can you be? They just drop a bunch of F-bombs? Maybe Common Crazy needs to come down there and sit next to Tyrese's dad. Yeah, maybe he should come down there. No swearing, Tyrese's dad. No swearing. That'd be funny. Maybe we need more Common Crazies out there to combat the profane. Maybe we do need this. That's right. They were profane with him. Oh my gosh. Bad words. They're words. Sticks or stones. Come on, guys. Fiercely saying, at least Halliburton apologized. So embarrassing to witness your dad act a fool like that. Well, I mean, I guess wow. I didn't realize he was such a bad guy. He's doing this. I mean, he's doing some T. Morant shit down there, huh? He's going off and getting involved in the game, becoming a part of the game, DR DeRozan. I don't know, man. Family members being involved in games shouldn't be happening. Jokic brothers. Stuff like that, Chris comes saying, I don't want him on our team either, but why is a dad on the court in your face after the game is over? Laugh out loud. I don't know. Why are you even giving him the time of day? Why doesn't he matter to you? You're an NBA player. That's just some other dude's dad. In some ways, it's like, ignore him. It's like, who the fuck is he? I mean, seriously, there's other options than getting in his face. Seriously, there's just ignoring him and saying, that guy's an idiot. I don't have any time for him. There's other things to do. Chris comes saying, just got eliminated. Who's in the mood for a player's dad to get in their face? Come on, man. Get some class, Hallie's dad. Well, was he blocking him from leaving the court? Was there a reason why he stood right in front of him? I don't know. In some ways, this is a silly subject. I don't want to waste like half an hour of my stream on Tyrese Halliburton's dad, guys. It's not that important to me, and I don't care. Y'all are probably more right than I am. But also on the same token, I'm just giving advice to Giannis as far as like if you want to seem like certain things, you can do certain things to avoid this. You can avoid this. Be the bigger person, is what I'm saying here. The Smooth saying, can't let people talk nonsense to you, man, no matter who they are. Yes, you can. Yes, you can, Smooth. That attitude is what gets people killed all the time. You want to confront somebody talking trash to you in public? Well, they might have a gun and they might just shoot you. So no, that's not the right attitude. Is you can't just let people talk. You're talking that standing at your ground shit. Oh, you talking trash about my girlfriend? I'm gonna come fight you. No, that's never the right answer. Ignoring people that are trolls and talking out of their ass is the best answer. You have to go punch and fight every single person that's a problem like this. You're gonna be in jail a lot. You're going to be in jail a lot. The mentality of having to stand on your ground for your honor has gotten so many people in so many stupid ass situations and problems. Go ask John Morant. It's probably half of his problems come from this kind of shit. That's right. Stargate saying, I don't want Giannis on the Raptors now either, but this was totally Hallie's dad's fault. All right. I'm going to accept the consensus from you guys that it is Halliburton's dad's fault. And I won't blame Giannis. I'll stand on what my opinions about it were, that he probably should have just been the bigger person and just avoided it all. I mean, in some ways, the NBA eats it up because it's just more press and stuff like that. So, Superfan Mo saying Scottie spoke on Davion as well on Twitch. Yeah, he said specifically that he feels Davion's a great fit for the Miami Heat, that he fitted really, really good on the Heat. And he also said that he was really good on our team too, and that he did enjoy playing with him on our team. Yeah. Kaloy saying, yeah, Philippines is basketball crazy. Lots of Lakers fans, though. So a lot of people agitated right now on the brink of elimination. Haha. That's funny. I love that. Kaloy, I'm going to give you a dunk for that. You saying a lot of people are agitated because of the Lakers situation because they're all Lakers fans over there. That's hilarious. All right, where's Kaloy? Kaloy's getting his next dunk. He's got his 9th dunk. He's at 27 points on the dunk sheet. There you go. Let's see. G saying Giannis's interview clarified it and was actually great. Spoke on how his mom wouldn't even get on the court after they won a chip, and his parents were always so respectful and careful. Yeah, I mean, once again, this is the other thing too. We can't expect everybody to act as well as we do. Unfortunately, there's could be a code of conduct for everybody to kind of follow and be respectful, but in some ways, a lot of that shit goes out the window. Yeah, I mean, I get it. I mean, once again, I didn't watch in these interviews and stuff like that. Y'all know way more about this. All I saw was just like, why is Giannis getting in people's faces? So I appreciate you guys broadening the whole story and bringing it to my attention. Fiercely saying Hart and Brunson injured toward the end of the game, yet Tibbs still bent on keeping them in the game as he really wanted to win. This is what happens when you don't play your bench enough. No trust. Yeah, why do you won't even play Precious at this point? Yeah, New York sunk, man, and they probably will go out. Wayne saying, "Good morning, Raptor freaks. Second round playoffs is building to be worthy of watching. Giannis is just a genuine nice guy who is appreciative of how lucky he is by playing a sport that pays him well." I really do feel like that is what it is. In some ways, Giannis is a big kid. He's living the charmed life, and in some ways, he has no reason to be violent with people, guys. He's a very happy guy most of the time. He's not happy about the Bucks and not getting better over the years, sure. But in most areas of his life, he's extremely happy, guys. Trust me. He's extremely, extremely happy. That's right. Risking injuries. Clearly, hang on. Clearly, the Knicks have not learned from last year's playoffs. That's true. Cool Cat saying it's just a lot of emotions in Bucks rivalry, Bucks Pacers rivalry. Root issue. Hallie is from Wisconsin, and Bucks fan racially abused Hallie's brother at Bucks game. Father felt a little get back. We move. Apologies. Yeah, there's probably a lot of drama and history to this. In some ways, I'm not Pacers freak. I'm not Bucks freak, so I don't know all the inner details of all this stuff. If I was those teams freaks, I would know all about all this, but I don't. I'm on the sideline as a Raptors freak, and I'm just kind of watching it from afar. And I don't know all the inner details, but it sounds like Cool Cat's in on some of it and understands there's a history. You know, the Halliburton family being from Wisconsin, okay, that does make things a little bit more, like that. Yeah, yeah. G saying the taunting in game is 100% acceptable, encouraged. After that, they just lost the series to get in his face, swearing at him. Don't like that. Giannis stood there for the longest time, just confused. That's what that was? So why was Halliburton's dad doing that? Yeah, he's wrong for that. You guys have won me over. You're giving me more pieces of the puzzle. See, part of it is the camera angle did not show Halliburton's dad. They only showed Giannis staring at him, and it looked weird. It was like I thought they were just talking. And it was just like highly competitive talk. I thought that maybe Halliburton was giving him praise, his father. I thought his father was giving him praise and saying, "You played a great series, Giannis." And Giannis just like really tough and listening to him, like really agitated. I didn't realize this. I totally misread that situation. Of course, they didn't show Halliburton's father's face when he was talking to him. They showed over his shoulder. So I had no idea. I couldn't mouth read what he was saying, guys. So this is part of the problem here. The media did not portray the situation correctly, so to tell the whole story, if that makes sense. Randolph saying, Lex, Shaq and the Barkley we divided on was right or wrong with the Halliburton senior incident. Shaq thinks Giannis was wrong. Barkley thinks that fans and family have no place on the court. You know, I would agree both of them. I think that they're both right. I think that in some ways, Shaq should just, I mean, Shaq's right. That Giannis, if he could have just pushed him aside, say, I don't care, whatever, you're just a dad, and got by him. If Giannis was being blocked by Halliburton's father to leave, that's a big no-no by Tyrese's dad. You know, there's a couple different ways to look at it. And I agree with Charles on this too. DeAndre DeRozan didn't have no business in that. T. Morant has no business in that. There's all kinds of family members that are coming to games and sitting near the court and trying to get involved or be involved in the game. There's no place for that. Charles is exactly right for that, too. I don't know. There's a fine line. You know, the parents and the family of players need to follow the same fan conduct as an average fan that goes to every game. And if they're doing certain things to interject themselves into the game that's disruptive to the game, they should be thrown out. They should be thrown out. In some ways, the referees could have had a case for throwing DeAndre DeRozan out of the game, even if that was awkward and difficult to do. There could have been a case because she was disruptive towards the game. She was. And that is in the rule book, Mark Lindsay. You can go look in the rule book. If a fan is disruptive and impeding the game in any kind of way, they have the right to throw them out. So maybe the NBA may need to make an example of somebody like T. Morant or Tyrese Halliburton's father and say, look, we're not putting up with this shit anymore. Y'all been going out of pocket lately. Maybe they got to do this to some of the super fans that come down to the games all the time that are well known, Mr. Zinger or whatever, Mr. Zing. Or maybe that one Philadelphia fan that stands next to the inbound guy and tries to fuck them up by talking in their ear right next to them. Yeah, I've seen you in the highlights from when we made the Kawhi shot, standing next to Marc Gasol when he inbound the shot against the Philadelphia 76ers. Philly super fans standing right next to Marc Gasol trying to fuck him up, talking to him in his ear. You can see it on Open Gym that just came out. Got him. You can see it. You can see it. Scottie was wanting to watch the highlights of the Raptors championship again last night. Yeah, he was saying, you guys want me to watch Golden State and the Raptors from 2019? I'll watch that. I was wondering if Scottie's watching Open Gym. He should be, because that's an education he needs to watch, especially that last episode where we won the championship. He needs to see all how that was, because he needs to try and replicate it and go even further and better. Make those feelings come back to Toronto, like the season finale of Open Gym this season, Scott. I know you probably watched that show. I know you probably saw it. That's inspiring, Scott. That's inspiring for you. For what you need to do next is what I'm saying right there. That's right. That's inspiring. Let's see. Wayne saying Bucks versus Pacers issues are insignificant. The few games I've watched, one thing is unnoticeable. The Eastern teams have more complete teams as to bench production. Why won with us? That's the issue. I'm not totally sure what you're saying exactly here. I feel like some of the Eastern teams do not have benches and some Western teams do not have benches and vice versa. You know, a team like New York has no bench. Orlando has no bench. But a team like Indiana has a bench. A team like Oklahoma City has a bench. Denver doesn't have a bench, though. So it's on a case-by-case basis. I'd say like half the teams in the playoffs have a solid 10-man rotation and half of them don't. And the Lakers don't. The Lakers don't have a solid 10-man rotation. But I could say maybe the Clippers do. You know, that's the difference. In some ways, it's about how deep are you? You got 10-man deep? You're going to be in good shape for the playoffs. If you are only playing 8 guys or 7 guys like Tom Thibodeau, you're fucked. You are fucked in the playoffs. Stargate saying Giannis was just standing there after the game trying to process everything when this classless man approached him on the court, taunting him with profanity. Nah, man, that's Bush League, bro. Well, all right. I mean, I'll get behind you guys. All right, you guys want to stand up for Giannis on this. Maybe he was stunned. Maybe he didn't know what to do. He's in the middle of the crowd. And then some guys yelling at him. Okay, all right, you guys are giving me more of the picture here. I was just saying, man, all the angles were on him, and he just looked angry and like he wasn't leaving. And then there was this one part where he was in the middle of the court, like he was trying to leave. He turned around and he went back to the middle of the court. And then there was another skirmish. It just looked real weird. I don't want to talk about this anymore. This is not Bucks or Pacers freak, guys. In some ways, we're talking way too much about Giannis and Antetokounmpo today. Seriously. Trevor's saying it was Tyrese's dad, who started it all. Giannis was just standing there shocked. He did not went up to Tyrese's dad. Tyrese went up to him. The media only showed the argument. See, media did not portray it correctly for me to see it right. Most give me the cutoff. W stream, W vibes. Go Raptors for life. Keep at it always, Lex. Yeah, we got about just under a half an hour. I'm going to figure this out. Seymour saying, who said Gary's going to win? Somebody in our Discord was saying, yeah, Gary's going to win it and help them win, but then it didn't happen. But you know what? It looked like it. That's a fair statement right there. Cool Cat saying, I have respect for Kawhi for helping us get the chip. I appreciate his work ethic. And he also taught our youngins too, Siakam. Yeah, he did. He rubbed off on Siakam. I'm just choosing Canadian Jamal Murray first. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. Yeah, I mean, it's different hierarchy. Jamal Murray never played for the Raptors, so he's not on a hierarchy higher for me yet. He's not. If he does play for the Raptors at some point, or he shows up for Team Canada in a way that really helps him, which he did not do for the Olympics last year, I'll give him more respect. In some ways, it's not just enough that he's from Kitchener for me. In some ways, he's got accomplished on the Team Canada level for me to really get behind him. He's already won a championship, so it's not like I'm worried about them winning a championship. I'd much rather Kawhi get another championship, a third championship with the third team, because that'll look really good. That'll look really good on his resume. And in some ways, I don't mind Kawhi getting another chip, because in some ways he's the kind of player that should have gotten a lot of chips, but he was hurt too much. I mean, we all have different levels of opinions on Kawhi Leonard. In some ways, I like the guy a lot, and I want him to do well this year. I know some of y'all do not have that sentiment. That's for sure. Fiercely saying Jokic's brothers are such a vibe. Yeah, as long as they're not bum rushing the court and getting in people's faces like that. Seymour wants a Doc impression. All right, I can do that. You guys haven't asked me for a request in a while. I'm going to give Seymour Pay a dunk for asking for a request. We have not had requests in a while, so we'll do that real quick. 42 on the dunk charts for Seymour. All right, here we go. Okay, guys, I'm going to tell you right now, this was a tough season. You guys did really good for me. I really appreciate everybody doing so well this year. And it's going to be a really long off season. But we're going to try and do our best. And we'll reload the team. And we'll come back next year. And we'll be better than ever. I hope y'all will still believe in me. Yeah. Doc, you're fired. What, Giannis? What? Doc impression. There you go, Kaz. There you go. Seymour saying Doc Rivers sounds pretty much like Nick Nurse when I do the impression. They have kind of a similar voice. Seymour saying James Johnson versus Silver. All right, we're not going to do this gorilla shit. Seriously. All right. What is this fucking one gorilla versus 100 man bullshit? Whatever this trend or fad is going on with the young people right now, wherever in social media and super places, this is a zone where we're none of this idiocy. They were asking Scottie this last night, and Scottie had said the same damn thing I just said. No, we're not doing this. Whatever this fad is, whatever this bullshit, 100 gorillas versus one man bullshit, it's just not happening here. He's like, I'm not going to give you my opinion on this because I think it's stupid. And that's what Scottie said about it last night. And I'm going to say the same damn thing. I think it's stupid as fuck. In some ways, I think it is a veiled, weird-ass little psyops question that's kind of fucked up. In some ways, it's kind of a gross question because you're asking, what would the fight be between 100 men versus one gorilla? First of all, that's not a very nice image. Seriously, think about it. You got a gorilla probably ripping through a bunch of men, but these men all trying to brutally hurt the gorilla. In some ways, this stupid-ass question desensitizes people from violence. It's a really dumb question. In some ways, it dehumanizes people, and it also is not good for the gorilla. You know, the Harambe jokes that have come out since Harambe are in poor taste, and they're fucking stupid as fuck, and they piss me off. Quite often, people that make Harambe jokes are racists. Let's just put it that way. People that make Harambe jokes or bring up kind of like acknowledgments to the story, the sad story about Harambe, are usually racist. Nobody talks about Harambe the gorilla other than racist people still. So this is probably just an extension of Trump world's bullshit, and this is a psyops question. And say, who would win, 100 men versus one gorilla? It's really there's some dirty shit to it, and some of it is desensitizing to violence, devaluing the lives of gorillas, and saying, "No, no, we should just try this. Let's go 100 of us out in the jungle, and we're all going to fight one gorilla." No, it's stupid. He would rip through a bunch of people and probably do some devastating shit to the first couple guys that the other people will run the other direction. Seriously. People don't understand how strong gorillas are. And if you think you can hurt a gorilla, you're fucking crazy. Even a tough person like Shaq would have a hard time hurting a gorilla. I'm going to tell you that right now. So, anyway, that I guess I did answer the question. But once again, this is the stupidest shit. The 100 men question. And I'm with Scott. I reject the whole dumbass fad just like he does. That's right. James Johnson versus Silverback Gorilla. Yeah, I don't see that. I don't see that. Once again, James Johnson may be the toughest man in the NBA and everybody fears him, but he ain't beating a gorilla, guys. All right? Just understand how strong a gorilla is. A gorilla is the closest thing to a real life Incredible Hulk. An Incredible Hulk can do a lot of damage really, really fast. And it doesn't matter how many people are coming at him. He will clean house. Trust me. He will clean house. Blackhawks saying the game was over, but fans are not allowed to approach players. Stadium security is at fault. Silver should ban Halliburton's dad from stadiums. Yeah, I mean, in some ways they were at home, and obviously the security people are going to know who Tyrese's dad are, and that because of things like Masai, Akeem Olajuwon recently in the NCAA tournament not being allowed to come on court, maybe some of the courtside security people are being a little bit weird or different about their very hard and fast rule about nobody on the court at the end of the game. It could very well be that a lot of the security people know who Tyrese's dad is, and that's why he was allowed to get on the court, and he has special status. You know, in some ways, you may see Nab Bhatia go on the court after the game. No, do you? No, you don't. He usually is coming back around and coming to meet people underneath in the back in the locker room, not coming straight out on the court and walking around with everybody afterwards. So, yeah, you may be right. The NBA may need to tighten up on who's allowed on the court and who isn't, and families should not be running out there. Although you do see players, kids coming out on the court sometimes after games. And how do you stop that? I mean, where is the rule? Where do you make the rule? And where are the boundaries exactly? Where are the boundaries, you know? Cool Cat saying everyone apologized. Emotions calm down eventually. The rivalry is over until next season. NBA playoffs is exciting and everyone is engaged. Next series, Cavs. Hope Siakam doesn't get swept. Yeah, hopefully they can win at least one of them. Hopefully they can win at least one of them. I don't know. Cavs are amazing right now. We'll just have to see what happens. I hope the Pacers can beat them. I'll root for the Pacers to win, but I don't know if they will. Monique saying almost 1 month into the offseason, and I've done absolutely nothing. Anybody else feel the same way as I do yet? Mo, if you're just enjoying life, take it easy. Take a rest, just like Scottie going to Asia. Take a rest. You know, get some rest time. I've been resting a lot too. I haven't been watching any of the playoffs. I know you haven't been either. And in some ways, it's nice to have an evenings that are free to yourself, and you don't have to be dominated by Raptors basketball and things like that. So, yeah, enjoy your vacation. Enjoy the nice weather, Mo. That's what I'm saying. Wayne saying Jermaine point is that lots of players have parents who are former players, and not one is known to misbehave. Bench player point is geared towards Eastern Final Four compared to Western Final Four. Okay, bench player point is geared more towards the Eastern Final Four. I don't know if that's totally true. Like, I would even argue that the Celtics don't have a very deep team. Seriously. Cleveland has a deep team. I'll say Cleveland is a deep Eastern team. I'll say that Indiana's fairly deep. But I can't say the New York Knicks or the Boston Celtics are. I cannot. I feel like they're very shallow teams. I feel like they're good at like 7 or 8 deep. And in some ways, the Celtics being the defending champions and the team from last year, I do not feel like they have a good bench. I really don't. I know that sounds crazy, maybe a little, but I do feel like that. I feel like that they don't have as deep of team as you think in some ways. I think it's true. You know, like Gary Trent Sr. is probably at the game last night, right? Sitting there just like, Tyrese Halliburton's dad. He ain't out there causing any trouble like that. And he has a big mouth, and he could. Oh, yeah, he could. Gary Trent Sr. could have definitely interject himself in the game. So, yeah, maybe there is some NBA people that need to come and talk to Tyrese Halliburton's father and kind of get real with him about what boundaries she should be following and what rules he should be following. I think that's right. Trevor's saying, fuck classic card. And Tristan saying, fuck that gorilla shit. That's right. And Fiercely likes the Doc impression. I like that. Tristan saying, love the stream. Good to see you, Lex. Love this one too. Yeah, thank you, Tristan. Once again, big ups to you, Tristan Trey, for raising the alarm and letting me know that Scottie was on Twitch. In some ways, that would have maybe gone past me and I wouldn't have seen it. And I'm happy that you did it within enough time that I got to see it. So, Tristan Trey, you're on the dunk chart. You're getting another one. You're at 12 for raising the alarm and getting me in there, man. I really appreciate that. Most saying, what happened at yesterday's Leaf tailgate, even though I don't really care? The weather was really bad. There was wind, high wind, and they thought there was going to be a thunderstorm that would make it dangerous to have a lot of people outside at Jurassic Park for the Leafs playoff game last night. So they called off allowing people to come down there because they were worried about the weather. But we would have gone down there in a thunderstorm, Raptors Nation. No, we ain't worried about this. But they have liability if they make it an official MLSE event, and they couldn't have liability people standing out in the middle of the park, and all of a sudden a lightning strike hits somebody and they're like crashed on the ground or something like that. So they had to do it for liability. They canceled the tailgate, but then the weather cleared up and they said, no, it's going to be back on. And they said, you can come back down. It's the point that you should be the fastest one to run away because no one is beating the gorilla. The slowest man loses. In some ways, I would wonder if the gorilla's even going to chase anybody, seriously, because the gorilla just doesn't want to be fucked with. If you mess with the gorilla, if you just leave him alone, you'll be fine. So, like, you could be like walking up on him and you just turn around and run away. He may not chase you. He may be just like, yeah, I'm just going to chill here. I'll let you go. I don't know. It's such a weird question. I mean, we could talk about this all day. And in some ways, they were talking about it a little bit. But Scottie was just like non-starter. He's like, y'all in chat, why do y'all keep bringing this up? This thing needs to go away. In some ways, Scottie is like so cool. The fad is over and it's not cool anymore because everybody's talked it so much. It's so annoying to him now. That's kind of where he was at with it. It's like, look, I'm sick of this 100 men versus one gorilla bullshit that y'all are talking about, young people right now. I don't have any time for it on my Twitch stream. I'm sorry. That's what he said, man. Nin's saying everyone slash the like button. Let's see how many likes we can get. I appreciate that, admin Nins, my Discord admin, doing such great stuff for us on the Discord server. Nins, I'm looking forward to seeing what you can do more for us. Our man in Philly, our Philly guy. All right, guys, straight goods on Canadian goods, y'all. Listen, there's a lot of produce at the grocery store, and some of it comes from the States. Y'all need to look at the labels and see where they grew this stuff. And, well, I'm going to tell you a brand right now that's grown here in Ontario, and that's Riga Farms. Does that have the price on it still? Anyway, that's Riga Farms. If you need carrots, man, you want Ontario carrots. You see that symbol right there? It says Foodland Ontario. If you see that symbol on there, that means this was grown in our province by our Ontario farmers. And Riga Farms is a farm here in Ontario that's been growing great stuff in the ground for a long, long time. Rosario Riga was born in Italy and came here in 1971, and they moved to Bradford and growing food in the ground. And these are Riga Farms carrots that this farm is grown this. So I'm telling you right now, when you're buying produce at the grocery store right now, you can buy Ontario grown. And there's a lot of American grown produce that you can avoid. If we're avoiding American products because of this trade war and Trump's shit, buy from Riga Farms. And this is the only company I'm buying carrots from now. There's carrots at the grocery store from the States, but I ain't going to buy them. I'm only going to buy Ontario grown carrots. And that's what I'm saying. Buy these carrots. Riga Farms, Foodland, Ontario. Look for those kind of things on your labels, and you will know you're supporting a Canadian company and Canadian grown carrots. That's right. Carrots. That's right. Smash that like button like Hulk, like the Hulk would. Hulk smash. That's right. Stargate saying, laugh out loud. Scottie is now a dad, so his tolerance for nonsense will be lowered significantly. And people are asking him, where's your kid? Why aren't you watching your kid? And they were also going to ask him once again, why aren't you at the gym? Get in the gym, Scott. They always say that shit. Yeah, I was wondering where his kid was too. But who knows? Yeah, no more nonsense because Scottie's a dad. He can't handle this shit anymore. All right, let's do the classic card, guys. Yeah, we're going to get moved along. I'll finish things up in 12 minutes. I'll try to at least. All right, guys, here we go. We've had 2 days in a row. This is going to be the second day in a row. Let's see what's up. Let's see who can get this one. Classic card. First person to write in the full name answer will get the classic card points for today. Let's see who knows who this is. I'll bring it up close because it is an all-star jersey, and it may be a little harder to figure out. That's Terry Porter that's guarding him of the Portland Trailblazers. Who is the classic card of the day? And if you know the significance of this player, well, there you go. You'll know the significance of the player. If you know who this player is, I'm going to see if somebody writes it in. If you know who the classic card is, write it in. There you go. Smooth is undefeated. That's right. It is the first man to ever score a basket for the Toronto Raptors in a Raptors jersey in the first game against the New Jersey Nets at Skydome, Alvin Robertson. Albert Robertson, original first person to hit a shot ever in the history of the Raptors. So yeah, former Raptor Alvin Robertson as an all-star before he was on the Raptors is on here. That's right. So Alvin Robertson is the card of the day, and we're going to give 100 points to Smooth for that one. It's a little bit difficult because it was an all-star card. But yeah, 2 Raptors in 2 days. RJ Barrett yesterday, and we got Alvin Robertson today. And yeah, we've gotten Alvin Robertson a couple times before, but Smooth is going to get the points today. 100 points to Reggie for recognizing the original Raptor, Alvin Robertson. That's right. Yeah. There's still belief that the Lakers can come back and win the series, Trevor J. All right, let me go over the refs for tonight's games. Golden State at Houston is the game 6, right? It's game 6. Zach Zarba is the crew chief. He favors the Houston Rockets slightly. Sean Wright is the referee, and he favors the Rockets slightly. The umpire, he favors Golden State. So I believe that's right. No, wait, it's reverse. Zach Zarba and Sean Wright favor the Golden State Warriors, and Nick Booker favors the Rockets. So it's very much a heavy favor for Golden State to close the series tonight. Minnesota at the Lakers, that game. You guys brought it up. John Goble is the crew chief. He favors the Lakers. Referee is James Williams. He favors the Lakers. And the umpire is Ray Acosta. And Ray Acosta actually favors the Timberwolves. So it's not totally fully. And the replay center will have Jason Goble. The other Goble brother will be in the replay center. So there's your ref report for tonight. I've done the Instagram stories. Let's see if anything's going on the Reddit or the Blue Skies. Blake Murphy's talking about Jamal Murray and being happy about what's going on with him. Yeah, there's not really a whole lot on the Blue Skies. Let's see if Raptors Reddit is saying anything interesting. Oh, they're talking about how Masai's locking in now that the Bucks lost in the first round. Masai's locking in to come after Giannis. Is that what it's saying for the 7th pick? This is interesting. Raptors Reddit is suggesting that we trade our high draft pick and we get the 7th pick straight up for Giannis Antetokounmpo. Seriously, that's what they're saying right here. That's what they want. So Raptors Reddit is all about going off about Giannis and coming here. That's what they're doing right there on this stuff. Yeah. And there's Reggie posting it right here that yeah, they're gonna so it begins the off season. Happy birthday to Luis Scola, guys. Luis Scola is 45 years old today, the former Argentinian superstar, great player for that country for many, many years nationally, and also a former Raptor. Luis Scola is 45 years old today. So happy 45th birthday to Luis. Y'all, I got this team opening for our WNBA Fantasy League. The draft is on Sunday. We got to get one more team in here. I'm serious. One more team to join so you can play in our league and go against the big boys like Meredith and Cool Cat, Fiercey. You want to play fantasy at WNBA with us? We got one more spot open. It's going to be fun. There's going to be fun trophies. They're going to be coming out, and you could get a trophy from Trevor J and I if you win the WNBA Fantasy League. All right, let's see what else you guys are saying here. Lakers coming back? Yeah, and the sky is pink. Bucks say no. Bucks say no. All right, guys, thanks for watching the Raptor Freak stream today. It was fun. I appreciate Scottie coming back and hanging out with us on Twitch. Dude, we love you, man. And it was really nice. At the end of the stream, he really did say he misses coming online and having a connection with the fans through his Twitch stream, and that he is going to try and do it more. I think he will. I hope he does, because I would like to hang out with him more this summer and pick his mind and ask him questions and see what he's saying about different things and stuff like that. So, Scottie respects a lot of people in his Twitch stream and says, he needs guidance from them, and he likes hearing what their opinions are. He's asking us our opinions all the time. And in some ways, he enjoys the camaraderie and the connection with the fans in that way through the Twitch stream. And I appreciate him embracing it and doing it some more yesterday. It was really, really awesome. I wasn't sure if you were coming back ever. Once you become a father, that's going to take some time away from you and your free time, I'm sure. But, well, Scott had time, 2 hours at least last night, to hang out with us. He did say he was going to come back for the 10 o'clock Clippers game, but he didn't. He always says that, though. He says, I might come back and stream some more a little bit later on, but he never does. Now, who knows? Maybe we'll see him pop up again all of a sudden. And I appreciate all the Raptor freaks that are watching out for Scottie on Twitch and raising the alarm when he does get on there, because then we can come in there and say hi and do that. Yeah. Most saying, I doubt we move up in the draft, in my opinion. We never know. I mean, Mo, the last time this happened, we got fourth, and that was Scottie. It was exactly the same place in the standings as we are right now, and we moved up to fourth and got precedent that this could happen. So I don't know. I don't know. It's really the luck of the lottery balls. It really, really is the luck of the lottery balls. And you know what? The chance of us moving up in the draft's just as good as moving down. Honestly, it's probably a little better that we'll move up. So I may go against you on this and say I feel like we're going to move up. I have a good feeling about it. I really do. The Stargate saying Anthony Edwards needs to show us if he is truly the man and end the Lakers tonight. There you go. There you go. There's some legend to build right there. Anthony Edwards, show us who you are and take the Lakers out. It'll be a big deal. Cool Cat saying I already activated my fantasy draft is May 2nd. Let me check again. No, the draft is going to be this Sunday on the 4th, I believe. It's the 4th of May, and it'll be Sunday, 9:45 is our draft, unless you have another draft somewhere. Tristan saying, if we move up, I'll kiss Adam Silver, his ass cheeks. That's crazy. Why would you do that, Tristan? You don't need to do that. It's the ping pong balls and Messiah and Bobby. You should be proud of them, not Adam Silver. He ain't got nothing to do with it. All right, y'all. Thanks for watching the Raptor Freak stream. Tomorrow is the Thursday Think Tank. We'll have the call-in show once again where you guys can call in on the phone, and I'll put you on the air, and we'll hear your voice, and we'll talk about NBA and Raptors-related stuff. So, yeah, enjoy your Wednesday. It's beautiful out once again. So get outside, and as Scottie would say on Twitch, touch grass. How about that? Let's go Raptors, and let's go Raptor Freak fans. That's right. Hell nah. Laughing my ass off. All right, yeah. Laugh your ass off, Nins. All right, y'all. I love you guys. I'll talk to you all tomorrow.